And now on Who's Views, it's time to join JT, Paul and Third Doctor Ian for the latest headlines.
Matron, he's out again! Hello, everybody. Welcome to your big show. Yes, it's headlines here at Who's Views, and it is Sunday, the 24th of May, 2026. Third Doctor Ian and Paul, hello to you two.
Hello. Hello.
Are you enjoying the weather? That's a very British thing to start off with, I thought.
Yes, it's a Scotch you, as they say on the fast show. Yeah.
Yes.
It's definitely lovely. I expect a hose pipe ban by Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's lovely to see you all. Lovely to see you all, everybody. Thanks for being with us this evening. Thank you. It's great to see you. Lots of you in the chat with us already. So thank you for that. We're going to get busy this evening because we have got a big show for you. So thank you for that. And let me just start by saying, have you heard? Yes, as I said at the top of the show there, he's out again, madam. So we are going to be looking at that. So this is your more...
I wish you'd stay in, don't you? Yeah.
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Okay, so
We're in the community gone mad, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We've also got some latest news from the fabulous Film is Fabulous, which is fabulous, everybody. It's fantastically fabulous from Film is Fabulous. We've got that all coming up. The BBC, as we know, continues to be in chaos. It hasn't been an easy week for the new Director General, Matt Britton. We're going to be looking at that in the big show. And I am very excited because coming up later on, we're going to be telling you some news about us at Who's Views. We're going to make a headline of our own, I think, gentlemen, aren't we?
I think we are, yes. Yeah.
We are.
I'm excited. Legion of James and Kirsty are in the chat with us. Hold hard on those links and stuff like that. It's a surprise. It's all coming up a little bit later on. So yes, hold hard. Here we go though, guys. Nice to see you all. So as ever, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that has been getting in touch this week. Thanks to Problem Being, to Sean B, to Derek Hart, to Scotsman in New York, to Rory Stanage, to Stephen O'Neill, Bill Lowry, Mark Milford, Steve Henley, Chris Kaz, to Paul Ure, Steve Andrews, Len Looks Back, Gary Bryant, Elton Layham, Darren79, Michael Webster. I also want to say hello to Craig. And I'm just to let you know, Craig, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Carry On Spying. I'm still here, don't worry. Carry On Spying will be in July here on the channel, okay? It'll be on July. So we will deal with that for you in July. All right. Now I'm still here. Don't worry about this. This again is this platform. It might come back, but we'll get on with it because you don't need to see my ugly mug anyway. So thank you for that, everybody. Okay. So we're going to carry on now. Yes, with your big show. I also want to give a shout out to Rocking Terry Lee because apparently he's here in the UK. I hope I'm right with that because as we were going off the screen last week, I saw a message from him, guys, if you remember, saying, "Oh, he's got a big plane trip over here." So I think I think he's over here. So Rocking Terry Lee, if you're in the chat, hello to you and welcome to the United Kingdom. If this is indeed where you have come to, I'm sure it has. Let us know.
Clearly brought the good weather with him. Thank you for that.
Clearly, yes, indeed. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. All right, then, guys. So listen, we're going to crack on, and it seems to be getting one of these particular things right now, isn't it? Where we more and more increasingly we're starting the show with bad news, unfortunately, and sadly. This particular edition of Headlines is not going to change that because on Friday it was reported that, unfortunately, Michael Keating has passed. Now, Michael Keating is best known, of course, as Villa from Blake 7, of which he did the entire 4 series and every single episode, which is a real achievement. But of course, he was in Doctor Who as Gaudry in the story The Sunmakers, which you'll remember, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Whoa.
always been a massive fan of Michael, and I loved him as Villa. I think he was one of my favourite characters in Blake Seven, definitely, without a doubt. And he was great in Sunmakers too, really was. Yeah, fantastic actor.
Mm.
Yeah,
And it
sad.
actually
Really.
showed, Paul, I think
Yeah.
as well. I think it showed the difference and his range as an actor, because he was totally different in Doctor Who to what he was performing in Villa in
He was
Blake
a bit of
Seven.
a villain in Doctor Who, wasn't he? Really, and then Villa was well. He ran the gamut from comedy to serious to love interest all through the series, didn't he? Really, to be honest. Yeah.
He really, really did. He really did. And I just want to say, he had a great career on television alone. Everybody. Special Branch in 1969. He did Doom Watch. He did The Dragon's Opponent. He did Dawson Watch. Yes, Minister. He did King and Castle. Gosh, various plays. London's Burning, Casualty, Midsummer Murders, and of course he had a recurring role in EastEnders, which I didn't know, as Reverend George Stevens between 2003 and 2013, and 2015 and 2017.
Wow.
A lot of work.
Quite a career, that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. So as ever, everybody, I'm sorry that we're starting with some bad news there, but as ever, to Michael Keating's family and friends, God love you. And Michael, thank you so much for the genius portrayal of Villa.
There's a lovely interview with him, I think on the Sunmakers DVD, and he kind of waxes lyrical about time in the pub with Tom, but he can't tell us too much. It's far too exciting, he said, or something to that effect. So let's seem a lovely man, and he'll be sadly missed. God bless him.
He absolutely will. He will.
Can't really add anything to that. I think Paul summed it all up there, really. Yeah, terrible loss. Such a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Let's just see what you're saying in the chat. Digital Pollution is saying to us here, R.I.P. Villa. We've got Synth John saying R.I.P. Michael. Yeah. What else have we got? Synth John saying to us that the Sunmakers is great. Mark Greaves is saying it's sad that we keep losing them. It is, mate. I suppose it's life, isn't it? Is he in the first episode to John Mason of Blake Seven? Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. He was in every single episode of Blake Seven. George,
did he not try to steal Blake's watch, as far as I remember? Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
He does.
yeah,
Manages.
yeah.
He manages to. Thanks, Georgia, with this one. PB is also saying very sad news indeed. Funky is saying R.I.P. Villa. Didn't see anything on the BBC about Michael's death though. There was a small thing on one of the local BBC things, I believe. So, he was a great actor, says Richie Brooks. Yeah, he was, mate. There it is there. He will be missed. He will be missed.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah,
he will be. And Margie75 joining us to say, R.I.P. to Michael Keating. God rest his soul. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. While we're on the subject of this, guys, we also have to remember this gentleman, of course, because, yes, today is the anniversary of the day back in 1986 when we lost the Doctor Who giant, Mr. Robert Holmes himself. I remember when the news came through. This is one of these sad things as well, guys, because never got to meet him, and I would have loved to have met Robert Holmes.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have done, definitely. He was one of those missed opportunities, really. But you know, fandom was really getting going in the 80s, wasn't it? So for him to pass in the 80s, it was just on the cusp of where he would have been in a position to meet people at cons through the rest of the 80s and the 90s, and just didn't happen. It was such a shame.
It's lovely to have that interview or the mock interview they do on Who's Doctor Who with Terence Dicks and Graham Williams, and discussing what's coming up and what the key to time might be like, sort of thing. And it's a wonderfully kind of rehearsed, staged kind of behind the scenes thing. And you see him in that puffing on his pipe, which is lovely.
Sat there with that pipe,
yeah. And they were all acting, so we now know it's staged. So
yeah.
In one of those books, I think it might have been the second Haining book, Key to Time, that he may have contributed an article to that, which I recall. I'd have to reread it, but I recall it being blisteringly funny. But typical Robert Holmes. But I think, arguably, personally, not arguably, but arguably, one of the top 5 writers that's ever graced this series from 1963 onwards. Without a shadow of a doubt for me.
I think he has to be number 1 for me, really, because he's made written so many fantastic stories in Doctor Who, and rewritten so many of them as well. You know, I mean, But Carnival Monsters is a particular favourite of mine. That's just a wacky, crazy story, but brilliant imagination. And so glad he came back in the 80s. Thank you, Eric Saber, to get him back.
Yeah.
But I was just watching Case Van Zandt recently on the Blu-ray set, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah. So it was right for us, who viewers, to remember Robert Holmes on this date as well. I want to say thank you to the John Keeley for this super chat. Good evening, gentlemen. I hope all are well. A little off topic, but RIP to my favourite member of the original Blake 7 crew, the great Michael Keating. Only the two ladies of the original crew now remain. My condolences to his family. Yeah, I mean, we're all with you on that one, John. Thank you for your super chat. And of course, we do review Blake 7 here, so no, not far off topic at all, actually. So Legion of James is saying, guys, 100% agree. One of the top writers ever. Yeah.
I even love the Crotons as well. There you go.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Mimic of the Five Faces, to be fair. It's a different nostalgia thing, but I did it. That was the first full Troughton story I ever saw, so that's why it's probably so fun.
I
to
love the
remember.
Crotons as well.
Yeah.
I want to say, Just Jordan is joining us. Hello to you. Evening, all. Just popping in very quickly to have a great show. It's my dad's birthday. Well, Just Jordan, happy birthday to your dad, who is a big Who's Views fan as well. And he's one of our own, isn't he, guys? Listen, guys, I'm just going to log off for a second and then come back in to see if this camera works. Can you just talk about Robert
I feel
Holmes?
a tangent coming on, Ian. Super. Let's go. See you in an hour, JT. Okay, right.
If you keep the Robert Holmes appreciation going, or the Villa appreciation,
we'll do our best.
Yes, 2 seconds. Okay, sorry about this. I'll be 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. How do we stop him getting back in so it can carry on?
I don't know. We'll find some way. Yeah. Let's
Spearhead
contact
from face
YouTube
for me.
Okay, so
Spearhead
Robert Holmes.
is...
What can you say, really? Because he is or was rather a fantastic writer. Probably the best Doctor Who writer ever, in my opinion, certainly. I mean, things like Carnival of Monsters, Till the Autons, Talons of Wen Chiang, Deadly Assassin. Oh, he's back. That was quick.
No, I agree with you on those. I mean, it's Spearhead for me.
No, I can't hear you guys. I'm going to dip out. Just my turn to go again.
Oh,
this platform.
I agree with him.
StreamYard, would you please get your ruddy act together? How much do I pay for this every single month? And it's absolutely ridiculous. You will be getting an email from me again. Get your acts together. Anybody know of any other platforms that work? This is the biggest one I know, but bloody hell, it really annoys me. It shouldn't be like this when we're paying so much money, honestly. Anyway, well, let's get on with it. Sorry about that, everybody. Stephen L. Reese is saying to us, can we get some love for the Space Pirates? No. Paul will like that one. Can we get some love for the Space Pirates, Paul?
As well, I love the Space Pirates. I love every Doctor Who story, to be fair. If they found the Space Pirates, which I'm sure they won't, because they've not found anything for a while, there'll be a long time before we get any more. But the Space Pirates would be a lovely thing to be found. But like Enemy of the World, it may change your mind on how good it is. But the audio is not as bad as you think,
Yeah. If I saw it, I would probably like it more. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Thank you for that, everybody. And we had to start the show with that. Goodness me. Let's hope we don't get news like that for a little bit longer, guys, because it's really, really
it's upsetting.
It is, isn't it? When we have to start like that. Yeah. Let's start now with some great news, everybody, shall we? Let's get on to some good news. And we've got a lot of good news and a lot of great stuff to talk to you about. And I've got some exciting news coming up for you very soon as well, which I'm really thrilled about. I'm very excited about. But I want to start off with a big mention to our friends over at Film is Fabulous, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because they've done it again. They are so busy, guys, aren't they? They are so busy. They are working. And my goodness, the results are paying off for them, aren't they? It's just incredible.
They're doing some incredible work, really. They've sort of like blasted onto the scene, haven't they? And they've really made an impact. I think and the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they do it is just absolutely top notch.
It is.
Can't praise them enough, really.
Well, we have to congratulate them because yesterday they were in Manchester with the Daleks Master Plan missing episodes and Mr. Peter Purvis, of course, repeating what they had done.
And Bedweir as well. Yeah.
And Bedweir was there. Yes. Yeah. If you were there and you met Bedweir, do tell what happened at the bar. So anyway, and Bedweir had a lovely time again there. And if you did, tell us about it. I'm sure you had a great time. But yesterday, or over the weekend, not only were they talking about Dalek's master plan, but of course they announced the fact that they had found something else. Now, they have found an episode, and I'm going to read from their Facebook here. It says, lost late night horror found. Now, it's not one of my exes, so, don't panic, everybody. No. It's actually a television show. Now, I've never heard of this. This is the magic of Film is Fabulous, isn't it? It draws you to something. Film is Fabulous benefit from the relationships with film enthusiasts and former industry professionals. The high degree of trust they enjoy is one of the reasons Film is Fabulous gains access to private collections and has been able to return film treasures to copyright holders. Thanks to an introduction from Simon Nichols, a Film is Fabulous trustee, and the head of film at the Courtyard Cinema and Art Centre in Hereford, as well as feedback from Richard Latto, a television and radio producer with a keen interest in archive programming, discussions began between Film is Fabulous and Darren Payne of Dirt in the Gate movies. I like that. These have resulted in a missing episode of BBC television being preserved. It's late night horror, No Such Thing as a Vampire, which was originally broadcast the 19th of April, 1968, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was believed to have been destroyed over half a century ago. The film has risen from the grave. See what they did there? Thanks to Darren Payne, a cinema projectionist and engineer who enjoyed a 30-year career prior to launching Dirt in the Gate movies, a group showing 35mm film at the Regent Christchurch. The recovery of No Such Thing as a Vampire was purely by chance. One of the board members at the Regent found a very small collection of reels. We're not too sure of the background of these films, but they have certainly been there for several years and were on the verge of being thrown away. I was asked to check one of the rather nondescript silver cans, which had the words late night horror handwritten on the label. I'm a passionate horror aficionado, he says, and the title rang a distant bell with me. Audiences will soon be able to feast upon the recovered episode for the first time since its solitary 1969 repeat, Paul, you'll love this, when it is screened as part of the Grindfest 2026 at the Regent on Sunday, the 20th of September. I am really passionate about this episode being seen again, and I wanted to find the best collaborator who shares the same vision and values around film preservation. This led me to Film is Fabulous, who, as well as arranging the scanning, restoration, and return to the BBC archives, kindly helped us secure a license to screen No Such Thing as a Vampire at Grindfest 2026, for which I'm eternally grateful, said Darren. Film is Fabulous is also committed to the restoration of the original colour version of the programme using the colour recovery process. Whether or not this can be achieved is yet to be confirmed. Regardless of the outcome, Darren believes the episode is more than capable of sending shivers down the spines, even if it is shown in black and white. The digital scan of the black and white film recording, together with the original 16mm film print, will be returned to the BBC archives shortly. The episode will also be screened at a future Film is Fabulous event, with a host of other recent recoveries which have yet to be announced. Isn't that exciting?
What's even more exciting about the fact is it's got Andrew Keir in it as well. If you've seen the clip, Dortmund come back. Yeah, so there's a great to see him in it. He's a lovely actor, and he played Quatermass as well, running at the same sort of time, didn't he? So fabulous to see this. It looks really
lovely. It's a great clip.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. These are pictures that you're looking at. You've got here from Film is Fabulous, from the episode that's been brought back. So thank you to them. But yeah, and you're right. If you go to the Film is Fabulous Tube of Who page, not now, but if you go along to it, you can see a clip from the episode. And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I watched the clip and wanted the rest of it. I was like, oh my God, I need to see this. It is so good. It is lovely. And the actual clip they've given you draws you in. It brings you in. You want to know what's gone on before. You want to know. And I thought, oh, is that it? It's Film is Fabulous. Naughty, fabulous. You.
They like to tease. Yes,
they did, Paul.
But
just
what
getting into it went off.
Yeah, what I liked about it as well, I think Andrew Keir's playing like a kind of surrogate Van Helsing type character, isn't he? By accounts, but he checks the bite marks on her neck, doesn't he? Which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
When I watched the clip and I was reading little bits about it, I don't know if I got this wrong, but I got the impression that it wasn't just an episode of Late Night Horror. It was the first episode of Late Night Horror as well. I think I read somewhere.
Right, did you? Okay.
So it was their first ever episode as well. I
So
think
it was like an anthology type series with a little out there known kind of idea. So it's going to be different horror stories every week, not a continuation of this
that's
one.
the impression I got. That's
Yeah,
the impression I
I thought
got.
maybe,
But
yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
from when it first came on, this was the first ever episode they showed. So
Wow.
as I say, I may have read that wrong, but it makes it extra special, doesn't it? Not just an episode, the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, yeah. It's so exciting, isn't it, Who viewers? A lot of you have started to talk about them in the chat just now with the PVFS saying to us, "Oh, OMG, they were just going to trash them." Yeah. Welcome to Britain.
Yeah.
Tony Farrell, I know you're excited about this, Tony. He's saying to us it did star Andrew Keir, who was in the Daleks invasion of Earth 2150 AD, and it was directed by Paddy Russell, which I do have down here. Yeah.
Oh, that's even
No.
more interesting. Yeah, lovely.
That is
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? It'd be something that,
So
some other
is
piece of work.
this is a BBC program then? I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was somebody I noticed that had said to Film is Fabulous on their Facebook page, and I hope they don't mind me saying this, is it going to be shown on television? And the Film is Fabulous made it very clear they can't act on behalf of the BBC, but they are hoping to. They are saying to the BBC, yeah, please screen this at some point.
I just watched the Morecambe and Wise episode they discovered just this afternoon. It was really good. Really enjoyed it. Fun. Yeah. On the iPlayer. Nice. Yeah.
Very, very. I've got to catch up with that. Yeah, I'm sure it's
Lovely,
fantastic.
yeah. Very good.
It's great to see you all in the chat as ever. Thank you for joining us for your big show. Legion of James saying to us, with every new announcement for Film is Fabulous, I get increasingly more excited. Anything is possible. You're right. And I love the fact that this is a show I'd never heard of, Legion of James. I'd never heard of this particular one. I mean, what other BBC Lost or film classics out there are they going to turn up that none of us have ever heard of? And it's going to find a brand new audience all these years later.
Yeah.
It just shows how stupid the BBC were allegedly by chucking all those things away. Because look at the quality of this print and the quality of the performances and the programs look so good, and they chucked them away. It was crazy. Yeah.
It was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why didn't they even think about what future generations would want to see, and the way we can learn from what they were doing? I mean, it was just so silly, wasn't it? Everybody.
Yeah.
Rory Neal is saying to us, I really wish ITV would buy back the ABC television archive from Canal Plus. David Williams, good to see you, David. Exciting find. There's nothing better than old school spooky TV episode. Yeah, because they don't make them anymore in case they scare someone. We're going to be talking about trigger warnings in this very show, so stay with us. Hello, Richard Brooks. Everything recovered is part of our cultural history. Shared stories that weave us all together in complex ways. Go, Film is Fabulous. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, that's the way I look at it as well, because it's so important, And it's
you were saying,
go on.
Oh, yes, you were saying earlier this was meant originally in colour, where they're going to try and colorise it. It's probably spookier in black and white, I was going to say, because that really gives a great atmosphere to it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think so. I quite like the idea of watching it around about Halloween time.
Yeah.
Only been about
maybe there's something to review at Halloween. You never know. We could do that. Yeah. So.
We could do, Paul, and you're going to have to remind me because I will forget.
I'll remind you. Okay.
Thank you. That would be good. If the BBC do that, then we'll have a look at it. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Snuggles is there. John Mason is with us as well. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. What else we got? Problem being is saying, is the BBC short-sighted? Surely not.
Yeah. They've never been to Specsavers. Other opticians are available. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Hi, Sheila B in the devotions. How are you? And Julianne saying to us, it's certainly fabulous that they are finding well-written, acted and produced material so much better than the current slop. Well, I agree with that, Julianne.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, totally agree.
I mean, honestly, that clip, everybody, when you go and see it on the Film is Fabulous Tube of Who, you get into it so quickly and then it goes off.
I felt the same way when they did the master plan once. It was so tantalizing, and I want to see more of it. It was fun but frustrating at the same time. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see it. So, Film is Fabulous, though. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah,
we've got more about Film is Fabulous, though, because as I said yesterday in Manchester, they had the Daleks Master Plan event. And there was some news about it today from Radio Times, who put this up. Doctor Who archive expert shares update on the hunt for missing episodes and plans to catalogue fan collections. The hunt for Doctor Who's lost episode continues. The story goes on with a Doctor Who archive expert has shared a fresh update on the continuing hunt for missing episodes. John Franklin, an established film collector and trustee of Film is Fabulous. Good evening to you, John. We're speaking at the recovered The Daleks Master Plan Comes Home event at Home, which is a big venue in Manchester, on Saturday, the 23rd of May, following the recent recovery of the 2 William Hartnell episodes. Film is Fabulous is a charitable trust dedicated to preserving film collections across the UK, with its work having already led to missing episodes of vintage television and a lost silent feature film being recovered and returned to copyright holders for preservation. Speaking at the event, John Franklin said, "We are fully committed to this, and we are going to do everything we can to save film and preserve film collections and their legacies." However, it was also clear about where things currently stand with Doctor Who specifically. If you want to know about Doctor Who, I will say 2 things. At the moment, we categorically do not have any missing episodes of Doctor Who, he said. Then it goes on to a bit of background there, which we all know about the wiping and all that sort of stuff. John Franklin then suggested that further recoveries could yet be possible, but explained that the scale of some private collections makes the process extremely time-consuming. We are aware of some collections in which the thing is, some of these collections are so large, it's not even necessarily what the individuals might want to do. It's how we can actually align with their ideas and thoughts as well, he said. Taking a collection where there's 16,000 films would currently take us 2 years to catalogue. It's a lot of work. So we work on the basis that as long as we know things are safe, we can come back to them when it's right for the collector and it's right for us. He continued, "It's my hope, my expectation, that we will be in a position soon to take some of those collections to identify some of the missing items that those people have to return them to the BBC." The recent return of material from the Daleks Master Plan has already reignited hopes that more lost episodes could still be sitting in private collections, uncatalogued archives, or film libraries around the world. And John Franklin's comments make clear that, even if there is no immediate breakthrough to announce, the search is far from over.
The thing they said, which was very telling, and there's something we have to remember, they said this is not a treasure hunt that they're doing, so they're not going to go, "Oh, look, Doctor Who, take that." They're not going to do that. They're going to, as they said in the article, meticulously go through all the collections, take their time, and as you said, it could take 2 years to do a collection of thousands of prints, of film prints. So just be patient, guys. If anything's going to come, it will come. It really will. And as they've proven already, they've got a great track record already. We've had, 4 or 5 finds that we're aware of that excite us. So hopefully there'll be more to come, but just be patient. Yeah.
Exactly. And this one from Review of Rants of Religion is saying, "I thought there were 6 to 8 missing episodes coming soon. What happened, or am I misremembering?" I don't think you are. You might be getting a big stuck with, apparently there's anywhere between 4 to 6 episodes of an alleged Christmas special coming out for RTD this Christmas.
Yeah. I think there was a rumour doing the rounds that Paul Verisa said that they were aware of collectors having certain things, and these new ones weren't part of that batch. So there is hope for that, but Film is Fabulous will tell us when it comes. Be patient. If anything does come, we'll be very excited about it, really, yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've waited this long. It's not going to harm us to wait even longer. Yeah. And you're right, Paul, to say that it's just brilliant that, again, it's not just Doctor Who, it's all these other little things. And this one now, this horror one, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I want to know what happens next and what's going on. I
was gobsmacked when they found Morecambe and Wise, being a massive fan of them. I mean, who isn't, to be fair? Yeah. Well, of course, they're no Ant and Dec, obviously, but I'm kidding. But it's interesting that there are other series I like Dad's Army and Steptoe & Son and Hancock and stuff like that. So maybe even that kind of sort of range of programs could be amongst whatever they find at some point. So fingers crossed.
Everybody keep your fingers crossed. And I mean, as soon as it's official, stay with us here at Who's Views. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you still subscribe, because of course, as soon as Film is Fabulous say anything, we'll be talking about it. But we're not really going to speculate, and we're not going to do anything else until Film is Fabulous have told us and it's 100% official, because that's the sort of channel you're watching here. Let them get on with their work, because it's a hell of a job, as John Franklin was saying in that article with the Radio Times. Silver Dalek, the late night horror 1968 Halloween special, is on the Tube of Who. It is indeed. It's a little teeny weeny clip on the Film is Fabulous website. It looks amazing. It's fantastic. And as I say, I was just getting into it. I had a cup of tea with me, and then the thing went off. So for the BBC, please, please, please get your act together. I will watch it in November. I'll be happy with that. October, around about Halloween time. That would be perfect, I think. Don't you guys?
Yeah, we loved it. Yeah.
So we've got all that coming. And again, to Film is Fabulous. Keep it going, everybody.
Yeah.
And
Thank you guys.
we
Thank you so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. And so should Britain. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's great to see them getting publicity now from various TV shows, isn't it? Not just the mainstream thing, but all the other stuff as well. They're all going, oh, look at this. And
it'll hopefully make potential collectors aware what's going on as well through the media, which would be quite good. That'll maybe help their cause, which is good. Yeah. So.
I think so. I think it'll help. I think it'll help. Anyway.
I think some collectors are notoriously cagey, aren't they? And a lot of them don't want publicity and things like that. And that's what Film is Fabulous offer them. They offer them that anonymity, and they do the legwork with organisations like the BBC, which, let's face it, is going to save people a lot of stress, because who wants to deal with the BBC? So I think their way.
A lot of them, as we mentioned before, Ian, might be worried about, even though they might have retired and gone, they might be worried about disciplinary measures from the BBC.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But they saved them in our books, of course. These people, who worked on these shows, saved them from a bloody skip. So thank God for them, quite frankly. And they've looked after them in their collections. Thank heavens.
Yeah.
You know, the BBC certainly didn't care. Anyway, stay with us. It's going to be fun. Let's see what they come up with next. They've got a lot there. Oh, who knows what it's going to be? Another lost gem that none of us have heard of, perhaps. I can't wait to find out. It's all coming this way. Thank you, Film is Fabulous. We love you. I don't know if you know this, but this is now the time where we're going to talk about a particular RTD who was busy this week announcing the new Doctor Who.
That's his best casting decision yet, I have to say.
One's an overinflated non-entity, and the other one
is
Mr.
Blobby.
Yeah, I'm starting the rumour right here and now, everybody. Ncuti Gatwa was back on set for Doctor Who, regenerating into Mr. Blobby, everyone. Because that's where the series suddenly is, I think. It's right down there, isn't it? As another prestige.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is around and about again this week. This week, RTD was, of course, attending his new TQ cult drama, Tippy Toey, which has received a trigger warning. We're going to be talking about that in just a second. But before we do that, you may remember on last week's show, we were talking about his appearance at a festival where people could do a Q&A. You remember we were talking about that, guys?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Was that in France when he did that one?
No, but it's done France. This one was somewhere else here. It was in Cardiff, wasn't it? Swansea.
In Wales, wasn't it?
Yeah, in Wales. Well, he seems to be doing some sort of tour because he's doing another one. And if you're interested and you're going to this, please email us at whosviews1@gmail.com, because you can tell me all about it. This one's come up. This is from sxswlondon.com, where they say BAFTA-winning screenwriter and producer RTD, who was awarded the 2006 Dennis Potter Award at BAFTA for his writing services to television and an OBE on the Queen's 2008 birthday honours list for services to drama. He's going to be appearing at an event with them. They go into a little bit here for him. RTD was born in Swansea in 1963. He's a graduate of Oxford University and completed the BBC's director's course before becoming a TV producer. He started writing while working in the Manchester department of Children's BBC and has created several award-winning series, including the groundbreaking Queer as Folk. And then there's some other stuff here you might not remember, like Bob and Rose, for which he won the British Comedy Award. Was it funny? For Writer of the Year and Best Comedy Drama. The Second Coming, for which he won the RTS Award for Best Network Drama and Broadcast Awards Best Single Drama. He went on to revive the classic British science fiction series Doctor Who, which received numerous awards, and for which RTD won the BAFTA for Best Drama Series, and Torchwood, for which he won the BAFTA Cymru for Best Drama Series. He created the trilogy Cucumber, Banana and Tofu, which was bloody awful, by the way, for which he won the BAFTA for Best Drama and PBG Innovation Award in 2016. They do carry on. Who remembers a very English scandal?
I vaguely remember that. Was that Jeremy Thorpe or something? Was it? Yeah.
That was the one with Hugh Grant in, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeremy
I think it was
Thorpe was
Jeremy-
the politician,
Jeremy
wasn't it?
Thorpe,
About
yeah.
him. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
never watched it. He then went on to do the 6-part drama Years and Years, and he wrote the acclaimed 5-part series It's a Sin. La 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 la. Then it also mentions their Nolly, of course, which people have forgotten already. In 2021, RTD returned to the BBC to oversee Doctor Who. His 5-part spin-off series, The War Between the Land and the Fish, for BBC One and Disney Plus, recently premiered on BBC One. No sign of it on Disney. More of that coming up. And Russell's new original 5-part drama, Tippy Toey, is coming soon to Channel 4. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, if you're interested in that, you can book your tickets right now at sxswlondon.com.
I'm really surprised. I never knew you wrote Queer as Folk. Did you?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, I know.
I've had a clue.
Yeah.
No. It's weird, everybody, isn't it? How you know, there's a lot of fails he's had as well, you know, including Doctor Who. A lot of fails. So I don't know.
If it says that cucumber, banana, and tofu, and he was getting awards for that, then it shows you the kind of like level that these awards were coming out at, really, doesn't it? If you can get awards for that, then they're not really saying anything of value, are they? Really?
No.
The bar's very low, obviously.
Yeah.
As Legion of James is saying to us here, do any of these awards really mean anything? Well, not in the real world, mate. No, they are just handed out for virtue signaling prosperity these days. Absolutely.
It's to keep your door open. You use it as a door stop. That's what you use it for, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's shocking, really. I mean, but we know what the industry is like. We know what entertainment is like. It's full of lovies who slap themselves on the back and tell each other they're marvelous all the time. And they're ignoring the real world. And the real world isn't looking at all this stuff. The fact that he's murdered Doctor Who completely and utterly, well, they won't acknowledge that, will they? I mean, that thing isn't coming back. Let's face it, it's not coming back without a major rehaul. And without him, he has now moved on to not just publicizing Tiptoe, but to the next TQ cult drama that he's suddenly got an idea. And I can tell you, everybody, it will deal with the fact that what's happened in Britain this week, you know, where a woman is a woman, and why the hell we've had to have a law about it, I don't know. He will do his anger all about that. It will be set in Canal Street in Manchester, and it will involve a group of heterosexuals who are the baddies, probably all white. I mean, we can tell now, can't we? We know what it's all about.
Isn't that the plot of Tiptoe, though? Isn't it?
Oh, of course it is. It's the Bob Orwell, isn't it? Hello, Matt Enspiel. How are you? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm at a very lively and very loud South Indian concert, so I'll catch up later. Have a good evening. Well, I can shout. I can shout at you, Matt. Can you hear me now, Mother? I don't know. How dare you be at a concert when you're supposed to be watching this show? Oh, very dare you.
Outrageous.
It is, isn't it?
How dare you have a life? That's ridiculous.
Yes. Stephen O'Neill is saying to us, it was a waste of 3 Sundays was the fish spin-off, wasn't it? Just
Really is.
Just absolutely terrible. We're going to come to that in a minute. Raymond Williams has just joined us. Hail to you as well. And problem being saying to us, RTD writes what he knows, which is absolutely FA. Can anyone see a pattern with the stuff? He's even done it in Doctor Who recently. There's a pattern. Because he does say that, doesn't he, PB? We've reported on this show. I write what I know. It's the same bloody thing.
Yeah.
And it's usually far left propaganda now as well. But that does bring me very nicely to Tiptoe. We've been sort of mentioning this on and off now for a year. And it's arriving on Channel 4, one of the wokest far left channels in the world. It's sickening. I can't stand that channel. Privatize it now. That's what I say. But yes, they love RTD because he's all like progressive and all this crap. But look at this from the Daily Mail. Exclusive Doctor Who writer RTD's new Channel 4 drama Tiptoe has been slapped with a trigger warning ahead of its release. Oh, yes, it has. This is hilarious. Look at this, everybody. Doctor Who writer RTD's new drama has been slapped with a trigger warning. The gritty Channel 4 series will follow 2 neighbours played by acting legends, Alan Cumming and David Morrissey, who end up becoming enemies as the world becomes less tolerant and more divisive. When the show airs later this month, viewers will be warned that it is a tough watch as RTD tackles hard-hitting topics in the 5-parter. The trigger warning says, content warning. This program contains scenes of graphic harm as well as depictions of racist and homophobic attitudes. At the UK premiere of Tippy Toey at the BFI Southbank, Channel 4 boss Ian Katz said, I think viewers will watch with mounting dread and high blood pressure. The show has something to say about the country we live in. Tiptoe is a call that years of progress have gone into reverse. Tiptoe is an urgent wake-up call about the intolerant and at times idiotic country that RTD fears we are becoming. Producers and bosses at Channel 4 are braced for a backlash when it starts airing later this month because it tackles a string of sensitive issues. It's likely it will spark complaints to Ofcom. Channel 4 will air it after the 9 p.m. watershed due to the content. The series is RTD's follow-up to Queer as Folk and It's a Sin. His last drama was the devastating, critically acclaimed It's a Sin, which followed a group of young friends during the 1980s AIDS crisis. Now RTD will again shed light on the community as he explores the rising animosity and dangerous prejudice facing the people today. RTD said the purpose of the show is to highlight how simply being gay in 2026 is political. Yeah, who have we got to thank for that? A synopsis of the series, which is from Key Street Production, reads, the 5-part series will follow Leo and Clive, who live next door to each other in Manchesterfoot. Leo runs a bar on Canal Street and Clive's an electrician with 2 teenage sons. This is a show I had to write because the world is getting stranger, tougher and darker, and frankly, the fight is on, says RTD. It comes after it was revealed in December that RTD is enjoying a new romance with Oliver Cole. It revealed in December. I think we knew just before that, didn't we? Anyway, I'm not going to deal with all that because that's his personal life. And if he wants a boy toy, he can have a boy toy. You know, I'm not interested. But here we go. We've got this coming out, and it's exactly what I said last year. It's going to be. It's about him being angry with his TQ cult propaganda, and he's shoving it all in this show. And it's going to be lie, lie, lie. And Paul, he will not take responsibility for the fact that he is one of the ones that has helped to drive homophobia in the UK.
Well, I'll be touching grass when this is on anyway, so it won't matter. But don't you feel that the this article is like trying to create its own hype when there's no hype for it whatsoever? It's like this is going to be really quite progressive and hard hitting, and we're going to slap a trigger warning on it in order to create some publicity. That's what the vibe I get from that. It's a bit desperate, I think. You know,
I know what you're saying, and I think I agree, because there are a couple of reviews in which I'm not going to bother, because we at Whose Views are not going to bother looking at the show. We're not going to review it, and we don't care. The only reason we're putting it in here because it is him. It hasn't been announced yet that he has left Doctor Who, so we're going to do that. But also because I get a huge kick out of bringing him down because I can't stand him. I'm going to be very, very honest. I mean, you know it. I hold him responsible for pushing the TQ cult agenda onto impressionable young people who are now completely deluded and think a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man, who are out there now wearing stupid tea towels and all this sort of stuff. And have now even started to vote green, which for me is a crime. Quite frankly, I'd have you up against the wall. But, you know, it's all this sort of stuff. I hold him responsible for this because he's been banging on about far left issues for years because he's an angry man. Ever since the 2023 episodes, including that Children in Need nonsense, was rejected by the majority of fandom. And that's when we were all called, wasn't it? We are all labeled the far right. And I think he's contributed to that utter crap as well. Do you know what I mean, guys?
Do you think the trigger warning's for us? Or is it for the people who are going to watch it, the people who are invested in that particular section of life, you know?
To be fair, Paul, they get triggered by anything, don't they? If the weather changes or a bird flies in front of them, they get triggered. So let's sort of like understand that for starters. But he is a very, very, very angry old man, and he's trying to engage consistently with a demographic that is just, you know, age-wise, not him. And he's trying desperately to be relevant. But he did this with Doctor Who, and he does it with everything. He creates a scenario, and then he's invented that, and then he tries to convince everybody that scenario is real, and then convince everybody that he is the solution to that scenario, and here he is coming in like a white knight. And it's all bull, all of it. And the majority of sensible people see through him now, and he doesn't like that either. So the only way that he can go, and he only has one way to go, apart from buggering off and he's not likely to do that anytime soon.
No.
But the only way that he can go is to double down and go in harder. You see it always with the far left. You see it with Starmer after those election results. You know, they got roundly beaten up in those election results. So Starmer interpreted that as the British public want us to go faster and harder. And it's like, no, it was actually the opposite of that, you prat. Yeah. But that's the only way you can interpret it. And this is the only way RTD can do it, because I think ultimately he might be a writer, but I don't think he's that particularly intelligent, really. Otherwise, he would show some variety in what he does. He would show some scope, some scale, but he doesn't. When he did Doctor Who, he was always derivative, you know, and he's just an angry, pathetic little man. And I think his time's over, and he's fighting against it desperately.
I think go on, Paul.
So I think he is fighting against it, because he's almost like trapped in a corner now, nowhere to go. And he's just desperately trying to keep it going as long as he can until the whole of the world realizes this is all complete BS. You know what I mean? That's
it's also the fact that I think he started writing this as the bubble was start to burst. Yeah. These are people, these far left activists, and I use the word activists loosely because they're not, they're just troublemakers, are losing their grip. They're more so now. I mean, they must all be spitting blood this week, you know, because fact and truth has reasserted itself. Why we needed a law for that, I do not know. And I blame Stonewall for all that crap, of course. Ezra Goldstein's joined us. Hail JT panel in the chat. Well, shalom. Nice to see you. Yeah. Nice to see you. Richard Brooks is saying, LGB driven out by homophobic bigots. What a terrible world we live in. That's exactly it, Richard, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. The TQ cult is homophobic, and they've pushed themselves. I've had so many rows with people over this. I am very against TQ cult activists. They have dictated that ideology onto the world, onto Western society. They wouldn't dare do it in China. They wouldn't dare do it in the Middle East. Oh no, but because we're all simps who are DEI crazy and thinking, oh, we've got to be nice, we've got to be kind, we've let them walk all over us. Well, no, I say, no. We pick up our verbal practices and we go after them. And I think that's what's going to be the case here. I hope this is a major flop for him. Another one, because he bloody deserves it.
I have seen the trailers a couple of times on Channel 4 and it looks dire. Really does, honestly.
I've not seen any of it, but I'm also aware that I've never heard anybody talking about it either. The only people I hear talking about it are RTD.
And us, and strangely.
Well, he's already on the BAFTA list for best drama, obviously.
Oh, he's going to win so many awards. You can see him going to the Attitude Awards again and say, oh, this is so important for this award. I guarantee you. He'll be going to Gay Times. Please change your name because you're nothing to do with same-sex attracted men anymore. Change your name. He'll be going on all those things. The Pink Paper will do a piece, the Poisonous Thing, you know, all this sort of stuff.
And the Metro will probably feature him as well. Our favourite columnist will probably write that one.
She'll wet herself. But it is very interesting, though, that there is a trigger warning for this show now when the people that are going to watch it are part of their own cult. And that's why they've done it, because they know that, I think, Paul. I think they've done that deliberately because it's going to be the simpering, oh, you can't offend me, label-loving, flag-waving, pronoun-using nooks. Do you know what I mean?
They're probably doing that in order to make sure there's not a backlash and it backfires because they get offended by something he's trying to defend, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It could be something like that as well.
Yeah.
It's already got a trigger warning, says Craig Dunlop, written by Russell T. Davies.
Now we know what the T stands for, don't we? Trigger, clearly.
Yeah. Good point, Craig.
It's not as funny though. No, it's trigger.
Julianne is saying, I'm white, heterosexual, and far right. His work is not for me. Why would I waste my precious time watching his TQ cult crap? Exactly, Julianne. Exactly. I think it's going to be an absolute flop, and I hope it is. But still, he'll be protected by the people around him because he is RTD and he knows all things gay. No, he doesn't anymore. He can't tell the difference between a man and a woman, and he's a hypocrite because he didn't date a trans man, did he? Oh no, he went and got a toy boy.
The interesting as well is it's meant to be being screened starting this month, and we're now 24th of May. When's it coming? Is it next week? I mean, when's it on? Is it on like late night to like midnight somewhere where no one's going to watch it anyway? That'll be good.
Yeah. I also think, alluding to what you said before, Paul, I do agree with the fact. I think he's trying to. Oh, was it you, Ian? One of you. I think he's trying to stay relevant.
Yeah,
could have been both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were sort of like pretty much saying the same thing, weren't we?
Kind of,
you
yeah.
you
Yeah,
were
we
saying
were,
he's
yeah,
backed
yeah.
into a corner because he's got nowhere to go, and he's
Yeah.
burnt all his bridges. He can't rely on any goodwill from anybody apart from the small bunch of psychopaths that he's appealing to, and they are a very, very, very fringe element of a fraction of a percent of the population. So he's not got many people around him that are going to go out their way to watch his crap. So.
Yeah.
Funny that he knows how to make a 5-part story all of a sudden, says Doctor Who 1963. How are you, mate? But is massively against that sort of thing for our show.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the news that he's gone.
Well, he can't write a 5-part thing, can he? Because the last thing was rubbish as well. So there we are.
Fishy thing.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And problem being, he's pointing out quite rightly that Channel 4 once brought us Green Wing, Jam, and Space. Now it brings us this RTD LGBTQI+++ crap.
Yeah.
You go back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s and look at what the BBC brought us compared to now.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, isn't it?
What also worries me about this is the fact that it's been screened at a time now, which will, because it's out of date again already, because everything he writes goes out of date immediately it's broadcast. The problem is with Series 2 of Doctor Who, which he wrote as he was doing number 1, and this, it's out of date again. But this will rile up those poor people that think he preaches the gospel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These poor, insane lunatics who 1 minute are talking about communists for Palestine and then talking about trans rights. The two that clash, the things that just don't fit together because they are stupid. I think it's going to affect them. I think they will watch this thing and be so annoyed with it that they could be more dangerous than they already are. So anyway, that wasn't the only thing that covered it, by the way, everybody. We've also got this from Deadline. RTD says his new show about the queer community reveals the vitriol faced by all minority groups today. A Jew could have written this, he says. Yeah, RTD's queer homophobic slur, Channel 4 drama about the radicalization of society and how the voices that were online are transferring into the real world could have been written about the many different minority groups today, the writer used loosely, has said. RTD's Tiptoe spotlights the LGBTQIA. How many bloody letters do they want on these things? Look at that one. LGBTQIA+. What the hell? Experience in Manchester, where he has said the fears he is sharing in 2026 are not limited to the queer experience. What the hell is he talking about? A Jew could have written this, RTD told the BBC today. If this was a Jewish version of the story, you wouldn't be calling it timely. You'd be calling it too late. RTD was speaking a few weeks after. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, you can't really say that, can you?
No. So, I mean, we know what happened in North London a couple of weeks ago. It was bloody awful, disgraceful behaviour. The same applies to the disabled community, the Doctor Who showrunner added. This is the thing that gets me. It's always going to be Doctor Who with him, isn't it? It's always going to have that with him, therefore showing it all up. I have had a friend in a wheelchair have someone knock on her door and tell her that she's lying and that she's a benefit fraud and that she can actually walk. That actually is physically happening in the world, said RTD. RTD was making the point that his show comes from a queer lens, whatever the hell that is, but is ultimately about the war between two neighbours and the radicalisation of society. RTD said the show that reveals a sliding back of gay rights, hypocrite, is all about how the terrors of the online world have become mainstream. Being online is a brand new form of communication that we did not evolve to suit, he said. We're taking it so lightly and so much enjoying its benefits at the same time as we are actually sliding into hell. RTD said Channel 4 is happy for him to sit back and be more radical. With the series which follows his previous Channel 4 hit, It's a Sin. Were it to have been made for the BBC, he said, the corporation insists that he writes happy endings, such as the dystopian thriller Years and Years. I get a sense of being unhappy with the BBC for some reason.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I wonder why, Paul.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Again, he's a hypocrite, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls out there. He's a hypocrite. He's now banging on about gay rights, which is the first time he's used gay in quite a while, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I've seen. Because usually you can't say gay or same-sex attractive because that's transphobic. Because we know that the TQ cult has told people like me who are same-sex attracted, I should be dating ... know what I mean? A trans man who is a woman with a vagina. So that is heterosexual. So to imply that and put that on me is homophobia. The big instance, of course, has always been targeted at the lesbians, the same-sex attracted women. God love them, because they've been told the same thing. You lot, you lesbians, you should be dating ... you know what I mean? A trans woman who's a heterosexual man. That's heterosexuality. This is the whole. It's hypocritical, Paul.
It's utter madness. It really is. But what is really hypocritical, really, is the fact that you can't be transphobic, but you can be homophobic. How is that balanced? You know what I mean? It's crazy. It really is. You know, they're just saying all these things and getting really aggravated about being trans, but you can't criticize them, but they can criticize you. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. You know?
Yeah, and he doesn't see it because he's too angry and he's too wrapped up with all this. And of course, as we've alluded to before, he's now too far down the road. If he suddenly turned around now and did something completely different, which contradicted himself, my God, they'd have him. They would have him. He wouldn't stand 5 minutes. He would be out the door. The TQ cult people would hate him. You know, there'd be all sorts of stuff. You know, he'd be gone because he's too far down this whole thing of the pushing, dictating, and enforcing this ideology. He's too far down. And yet, as I say, I'm going to say again, he didn't decide to go out with a trans man, did he? He went for a boy toy. You know, an actual proper man.
I think he's a very divisive, very bitter individual. I think he's a very dangerous individual. And the thing is, as well, you can't really believe anything that he says, because I do genuinely believe that he makes a lot of stuff up. Who knows if he's got a friend in a wheelchair that had somebody come around like that? But what is he saying by using that as a reference anyway? Is he saying that people are accusing everybody that says they're disabled that they're not disabled, and that never happens? Well, there's been somebody in the news this week that's been done for claiming disability for several years and was caught on film. So clearly it does happen, but hopefully in a minority of cases. But it does happen, so we can't say it doesn't. But, you know, what is he saying? People in wheelchairs can't be bad?
Yeah, Davros, and why is he bringing the Jewish element into it? You know, maybe he should write something like that and actually learn about it. As PVFS is saying, I don't need RTD to write about my minority experience. I've seen the way he currently writes. I totally agree. Matthew Pound is saying to us, believing in biological science isn't hate. Yes, it is to them. That's the whole problem. And they are livid right now here in the UK after what's gone on this week. Livid. I think he deserves everything he gets, quite frankly, everybody.
Yeah. I don't know how he can write a thing that features straight people, like obviously the bad person, the protagonist, the straight white male, in this tiptoe, because where's his lived experience? Where's his knowledge coming from? It's just all presumption, isn't it? It's all what he would imagine a nasty, white, straight, heterosexual would be. And he's written his worst version of it. And unfortunately, the sad, brainless idiots that follow his every word will believe that's what straight white people are like. Some will. Put money on it. Some will.
Yeah. Well, Julie's pointing out to us that some of the responses this week to the single-sex guidance have been utterly demented. Totally. Because they've had 15 years, Jule, as you'll know, of being told by the likes of that horrible, soon-to-be gone, I hope, touch wood, Stonewall, that trans women are women and trans men are men. And 15 years means an entire generation has grown up with that belief, because it's everywhere. The BBC, which we were talking about soon, have been pushing it. It's been on children's BBC. It's in schools. You know, it's in the education system of Wales, England, and Scotland and Northern Ireland. You can go and see examples of teachers telling kids they're horrible young people because they believe in only two genders, which is fact. So what's happened, and I would have loved to have heard what RTD was screaming about this week from Wales or wherever he was. What's happened is they've been told, knock it off. You're talking crap. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the end of it. Of course, they're going to try and fight back. I've seen various pride groups across the UK over the last couple of days saying, we've been considering this and it's very unclear. Bloody idiots. Bloody idiots. Of course it's not. Lex has joined us. Hi, Alex. Good to see you, mate. I'm glad you've had a good day. Richard Brooks is saying that Russell Tough Davies is in no position to tell us anything. Try telling him that. He's got too much power, hasn't he, guys? We've said this. You know, a couple of years ago, we reported on who's going to stop him. Nobody in the industry, but they're going to have to soon. They're going to have to, because you have to follow the law. And these people in these idiot entertainment businesses are going to have to lump it. Hello, James Ripley. How are you? Look at the number of folks who need wheelchairs to get through the airport, often seen walking off the plane at their destination. Oh, I've never actually seen that one, James, but thanks for that. I've never seen that. I don't like wheelchairs. When I was ill, I had to have one every now and then to get from A to B for certain things. And by God, those porters, they thought they were on the F1.
Sometimes people who do that, you know, have a bit of mobility, but not enough to do sustained long distances. That's kind of the thing. I think
that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, you have to be careful with some of them. Yeah.
And I think some disabled people have a terrible time with getting disabled access to places that ultimately exclude them. And that should be getting a lot of focus. Absolutely should. Going from international travel on airplanes, trains, buses, the whole lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Dalek Shalom. Thank you for your comment there. And Reviews Ransom Religion saying, can we now call RTD straightphobic and see how he reacts? I could call him a lot of stuff, Reviews Ransom Religion. Honest to God. Bruce Peanut, it's nice to see you. Hey, hi, JT, Ian and Paul. Hello, darling. How are you? Nice to see you. Philip Shaw is saying he wouldn't like this. Russell Trump Davies, he wouldn't like that at all.
He wouldn't like that. Oh, no.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. But anyway, I mean, again, it's one of these things we've been pointing it out since 2023. Why is failure rewarded these days? Why is failure not looked at? Why are things commissioned a second series when they have obviously failed?
Yeah.
One of the big things, of course, that Russell T. Davies has recently, and which none of them will actually admit, has had a massive, spectacular fail with, is Doctor Who. And its alleged spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Thing, that awful nonsense that we sat through in December 2025. But where is it on Disney? It's conspicuous by its absence. And Cultbox have actually noticed. Disney Plus spurns Doctor Who spin-off for the first half of 2026. Disney Plus has released its schedule for June of 2026, and the Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Blah, doesn't appear on its lineup for the month. According to a BBC spokesperson who spoke to The Sun, the deal with Disney Plus was for 26 episodes. Counted among the 26 episodes with all that crap that we know about. It carries on to say, while Disney never shared its streaming date for the series, a BBC press release stated that The War Between the Land and the Sea would stream on Disney Plus in early 2026. June 26 marks the end of the first half of the year, putting any transmission of the spin-off series in July or later in the second half of the year, unequivocally late 2026. Cultbox has reached out to Disney Media Relations on March the 17th when they released their April schedule to inquire why The Fish Thing had not yet been made available on their streaming service. We received no reply. In the UK, the series transmitted on BBC One in December 25. Boy, do we know it. And it remains available to view on BBC iPlayer. This apparent delay raises the question whether there's been a change of BBC Disney agreement. It's nothing to do with them, is it really? You know, it's nothing to do with BBC when Disney broadcasts shows. No. But can it be that Disney Plus no longer has planned 5 episodes of The War Between the Land and the Fish Thing? Probably. In the USA, Doctor Who Series 1 to 13, which is 2005 to 2022, will stream on AMC Plus starting in June. Perhaps this is a sign of things to come for future Doctor Who. Blah, 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 blah. AMC streams variant content in the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, and Spain. Fans outside the UK who wish to watch, we can't bother with that. We're not going to plug that one. But there you go. But again, massive flop. Even Disney knew it.
Well, if they found that the Doctor Who series wasn't doing very well, why would the spin-off do any better? You know what I mean? It seems a bit daft. Yeah.
But they don't say this, do they?
No.
They don't say he had a massive flop with that thing about the fella that won the lottery that nobody remembers, the Welsh guy before Doctor Who. They don't say that Doctor Who 23, 24, 25 was a massive failure. They don't say that the fish thing was a massive failure. He's had other stuff, of course, that's forgotten. I mean, Bob and Rose wasn't that big a deal. It's all... Oh, they're bigging him up all the time, aren't they? They're bigging him up all... I don't understand
He does seem to have a very charmed life with certain areas of television and everything. They do see, and the media, they do seem to... I don't know whether or not they've got shares in him or what, but why would Disney want to show War Between the Fishy Finger Things and whatever? Why would they want to show it? It's crap. It was a failure. It's crap. Why? You know, they're not obligated to show it at all. I'm sure they make lots of things and don't show them ultimately. Yeah, I wouldn't show it. Would you?
No.
Really?
Well, like I say, they'll probably write off as a tax deduction. Yeah,
which they might not be able to do if they show it. So, you know.
Yeah, and also the thing is as well, it's only a minority that would care about it. You know, and let's face it as well, those people in the outside the UK who have wanted to see this thing probably already have via the iPlayer, because Pete McTighe, whoever you want to say, actually told them to do that, didn't he?
He did, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he reported there on the channel, you know, so they've probably seen it already. But I agree with you. Why would Disney want to show it when they know no one's going to watch it? You know,
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Why would you put an embarrassment on your channel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Margie's agreeing with you guys. Write the fish thing as a tax loss. Yeah, write it off. Write it off. They probably will. What was that film they did it with? Oh, Batwoman?
Batgirl. Yeah, Batgirl. Yeah.
Batgirl.
That was a series, wasn't it? Was that a series or was that a film?
It was a film, and Michael Keating turned up as Batman in it, apparently, as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was a film. I know they did a series as well, which was Axe, wasn't it? Because it wasn't very popular.
Yeah,
and they recast the lead actress in the second series.
That was Batwoman, wasn't it? With
was it right?
That lesbian actor.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, cool. Till Paul, hello, mate. Doctor Who never showed up in the USA ratings on Disney Plus, and the fishy thing does not have the name recognition that Doctor Who does. It's common sense. It's common sense. It's not going to happen. Otherwise, they would have done it by now. I can't see it happening.
No.
Yeah, Pooh's Peanut is saying, yeah, I think Disney Plus has written it off. They'd be better doing it, writing it off, you know, just forgetting about it. You know, what a waste of money. They were really let down, I think. Really let down. So all the
to be fair, they should have had more. If they didn't have creative control or any form of creative control, that's their own fault, really, to be honest. You know?
They probably had too much faith in him. I doubt they'd make that mistake again.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're going to be obviously, because they walked away in spectacular style. They're not coming back to BBC Studios anytime soon, are they? And it's because BBC Studios, you allowed Russell too much creativity and he put his own agenda into it. You know, this propaganda.
Didn't keep him on a leash like they did in 2005, which they should have done.
Yeah, they should have had somebody there like Mal Young.
Yeah.
But he's too big now, you see. He doesn't need that sort of stuff, Ian, according to them. He bloody does.
Well, nobody dare say no to him, do they?
That's it. Shocking stuff. Well, he's been out and about, as we know now, talking about his new drama. But did you know, Who viewers, that showrunner Stephen Moffat has a new one out? Did you know about this?
No.
No, not much fuss over Stephen Moffat's new forthcoming series, isn't there? Who knows? Because that's not necessarily how he works. First look images released for Stephen Moffat, Hearts with Films and Channel 4's new drama number 10 with Rafe Spall, Jenna Coleman and Catherine Kelly, two names of whom you'll know from Doctor Who, of course. This article has come from Channel 4 itself. It's produced by Heartwood Films, part of ITV Studios, and written by Stephen Moffat. Now look at this. The credits for him are Sherlock, Dracula and Inside Man.
Mm.
In his first project for Channel 4, first look images have been released of Rafe Spall as the Prime Minister, Catherine Kelly as the Chief of Staff, and Jenna Coleman as the Deputy Chief of Staff, alongside the Chief Mouser to the Cabinet Office. There's a Prime Minister in the attic, a coffee bar in the basement, and a wallpapered labyrinth of romance, crisis, and heartbreak in between. Set in the only terrace house in history with mice and a nuclear deterrent, it's the only knock-through in the world where a hangover can start a war. The government will be fictional and unspecific, but the problems will be real. We'll never know which party is in power because once the whole world hits the fan, it barely matters. This is a show about the building and everyone inside, not just the PM upstairs, but the conspiracy theorist who runs the cafe 3 floors below, the man who repairs the lift that never works, the madly ambitious advisors fighting for office space in cupboards. Oh, and of course, the cat. Who's interested in this then? Is it just me? I am sick and tired of these writers putting, I'm assuming, some sort of message into stuff which is based around their political opinion. I am tired of it. I am bored. I don't know about you guys.
Well, that description doesn't inspire me to want to watch it. That's for sure. There's not even a hint of timey-wimey in there either, to be fair. But, yeah.
I've got no interest in anything he's got to do, to be quite honest. It was interesting. It's mentioning like office romance and stuff like that. That's what he does, isn't it? That's what he writes, with things like coupling and everything else. That's just what he does. There's nothing new in that. It's typical paint by numbers Moffat. In the same way, Tiptoe is paint by numbers RTD.
Yeah, same sort of stuff again. What was that last thing he did, which was a bit about the cancel culture thing? I couldn't get through that either. I watched towards the end with Karen Gillan, and I watched towards the end of the first episode. This isn't for me. I don't like this. I don't like it. So
that was the thing with Hugh Bonneville, wasn't it? And Karen
Gillan.
Yeah,
and it's lovely hot chocolate.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Moriarty's saying, can we get Malcolm Tucker cameoing in this show? I'd watch it if he was in this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We've got some pictures courtesy of Channel 4 for us as well. This is the Prime Minister, as you can see there, the fictional Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And then we've got Catherine Kelly and Jenna Coleman here as well in their respective roles, including the cat.
It's interesting, isn't it? They're saying that you're not going to know which political party's in power and everything else. But the Prime Minister's tie looks very turquoise, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you're watching this, Who viewers, please do let me know what you think about it, because I'm not going to be bothered. I'm over all this. I know these alleged clever writers and what they're saying, and I can't be done with it anymore. Hello, Domgo. It's nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Ezra, look after yourself. You can see us on playback a little bit later on. We've got some big news coming up, Ezra, that you might be interested in just a second.
Sorry. I know how StreamYard's been, so I left it quite a bit, but I think we have miss this one. We quite early on in the show we had a super chat from Mark Greaves. So we had a £5 super chat from Mark Greaves. So thank you for that, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
That's Mark.
And he just said a huge thank you to Who's Views from me. Without you, I wouldn't have known that much about Robert Holmes and other giants of the show. Well, that's a job done then, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you just joined us, we were, of course, remembering, and we are remembering Robert Holmes today, who passed on this day in 1986. Just at that point when a lot of us were getting to a certain age to be able to go to conventions. And so we were robbed, basically, of meeting one of the giants of Doctor Who. And the friends I've got that did meet him, guys, back in the early days of the Dwarves and something like that, I'm so jealous.
I'm jealous. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I bet he was lovely to listen to and talk to. Yeah. I bet he gave a good performance at the original conventions. Avon is saying, I'm not watching the Stephen Moffat thing. Problem being, don't you love it when RTD thinks he's being so clever and subtle, like he even knows what subtle means? Well, the difference between the publicity going on about RTD's new drama to what Moffat's done shows that. I mean, we know the difference. There's massive differences between the two men.
Yeah,
but this is for Channel 4 as well, and they're not screaming about it.
Yeah.
It's all down to RTD, isn't it? Oh, we've got to do this. This is important. This is about rights being destroyed and dismantled. Utter nonsense. Juliana saying, I'm sick of politics. I'm not interested in message pushing when I want escapism and entertainment rather than a lecture. Well said, Julianne.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Moffat's little drama here could get swamped by the Russell T Davies one.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah. Especially
Which
if they're
might
not
annoy,
publicising
which
it.
might annoy
Yeah.
him. Might.
Yeah, might do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think anyone's going to watch either of them, quite frankly. We'll soon know. Anyway, so there we go, everybody, with those. Yeah, listen, let's get some exciting news, shall we? Because I am very excited about this, everybody. Yes, because I want to take you back, warp, to 2023. And I'm going to take you to... Blackpool. Oh, goodness me. Yes.
That looks good.
It was
very good, yeah.
Brilliant.
But it was fun.
It was great. You may have heard me talk about this if you're a regular Who viewer before, but that was Invasion Blackpool 2023, which celebrated 60 years, of course, of the Doctor. And who was that gorgeous, handsome man with no hair on the stage? It was me! Yeah. We had a fantastic day. 400 people came to join Invasion Blackpool at Blackpool, strangely enough. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Who viewers, young and old, it's time to grab your bucket and spades. I am so thrilled and excited because, yes, Invasion Blackpool is back. It's going to be available. Well, it's going to be held in Blackpool at the Grand Hotel on Saturday, the 15th of May, 2027. So there's plenty of time to think about this and get sorted. And I'm thrilled and excited because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going to be there. Whose Views will be broadcasting live from Invasion Blackpool throughout the day on Saturday, May the 15th, 2027. And the tickets are available right now. There's a QR code there on the screen for you. I'm going to be showing you another one as well. And I think Kirsty and the Legion of James are going to be posting the links throughout the show for you as well. You can get your tickets right now. And I'm really, really excited about this, guys. I mean, I know it's a year off, but I am so thrilled because we're going to be there. Third Doctor Ian's going to be there. Paul's going to be there. The lady of the chat, Kirsty, is going to be there. George is going to be there. Phil is going to be there. Emilio is going to be there. Who have I missed out? We're all going to be, hopefully, we're all going to be there broadcasting live throughout the day. So this is this is just thrilling, isn't it? It's all paid for. We're all done. We're all booked. In more ways than one, but we're going to this, and I'm thrilled, guys. Well, I don't know about you. I'm so excited.
Well, that trailer's really whet my appetite. I've seen bits and pieces before, but that looked really good. So I'm looking forward to this enormously. Superb. Yeah.
I've got a chart on my wall counting how many sleeps there are until the day. It's very, 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 very exciting. And Blackpool as well. It's a spiritual home in a way, isn't it, for Doctor Who fandom? And
it looked wonderful. But talking of Blackpool, Ian, that all this lovely costumes and things of various monsters look superb. Really lovely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Can't wait.
that was Connor. That's Connor, and I can actually tell you, Connor will be back at Invasion Blackpool with a bigger exhibition, because that was the first time he'd ever shown those costumes. And of course, in the last 3 years, he's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's going to be there. And he's going to have an exhibition again, so that's great. Yes, it was Mecranon. Of course, it was Bedweir in the end of that, absolutely. And Bedweir will be there as well. He's going to be back with us at Invasion Blackpool. Let's have a look and say, Matthew Pound is saying, I dig that crazy rhythm. Yeah, man, that's great. Sean Cryer is saying, I went to that. Sean, hopefully you'll be able to come back and see us again. This is the nearest you're going to get to a Who's Views convention, everybody. So some of you asked for it at the beginning of the year. This is the one. You've got to come to it, because we're going to be there. What else have we got in the chat about this at all? Music for that was so good, says Pooh's Peanut. Thank you, darling. There's the link for you, everybody in there. Legion of James has already got his tickets. Look at this. Bring it on. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've already got my tickets.
Good for you.
Good for you, mate. That is brilliant. St. John is saying, wow, this is brilliant. Yeah. Space Peninsula saying, if you're taking us back to 2023, can we prevent the Shy Tenant anniversary episodes from airing? John Mason is saying, tell me more. Hopefully we can. If we missed anything out in this segment, John, please tell us. Richard Brooks is saying, great. Way to go, guys, from Margie75. Legion of James has also put the Invasion Facebook page in there. That's a good point. You can find the Invasion Blackpool Facebook page. The link is in the chat from Legion of James. Do link up to it, because, of course, they're going to be dropping all the details throughout the year, because it's time now, throughout the year, of who's going to be attending, what's going to be happening. And I'm really, really, really excited about it all. But the biggest news, of course, is we're going to be there. Whose views are going to be live? Fantastic news that Itagishi. Problem being, says, I'm going to be there. That's fabulous. Domgo is saying, is RTD going to be there? Nope. Oh, can you imagine?
He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare show up.
We'd have him on stage and we'd be sitting there going, now.
For all his tough talk, he does not have the balls. I'll tell you now. I'll call that.
Philip Shaw is with us saying, Invasion Blackpool was a great day. Too warm, though. I nearly passed out in my Doctor Who scarf. You did. I remember Philip in his Doctor Who scarf. It was absolutely wonderful. Different venue this time around. It is at the Grand Hotel in Blackpool, which is a massive big space, of course. And it's all on one level as well, everybody. So it means it's a lot easier for the Daleks to get around. And Davros. I have to point out as well that the Grand Hotel in Blackpool has put some rates out for anybody that is looking and wants to possibly stay at the Grand. You can get all the details from the Invasion Blackpool page, and all that information's there for you. Okay, so go and have a look at that. Paddy NI is saying, I haven't been to Blackpool in so many years. I must get a ticket and a plane ticket. Yes, please. And if you're coming along, listen, as I say, it's both paid for, it's all planned. We're going to be having a stand at the gig. We're going to be having some limited edition, gorgeous, beautiful, gorgeous, marvelous merchandise for you all. Start saving up. It's gorgeous. It's brilliant. I haven't designed it yet, but it's going to be gorgeous and sparkly and fabulous. And we're going to have that for you there. And you may get on the show, because if you're there and you're a Who viewer, we're going to want to chat with you. There you go.
That should be a conveyor belt, really, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Toy, candelabra. Yeah, I love all that stuff. We should do that. How exciting, says the Nate channel. Lex says he's thinking about it. You're doing more than that. Think it. Book your bloody ticket and get over there. You're only in Liverpool. Get on that train. PT Muzak is saying, looks good. I want to go. Please come along. Julianne is saying, I'm going to get my tickets now. Thank you, Julianne. And make sure you come and say hello to us. I know it's a year away, everybody, but we're going to build up to this. We're going to, whenever the information is presented, we will be talking about it here on the show. We're all going to get excited together. We're going to get our swimmy cozies on. We're going to go and look at the donkeys. We're going to take, bucket and spade. Well, maybe not actually. Philip
I
Shaw
need
is
to get my speedos dry cleaned. Then I look forward to that. Yeah. So.
Can we get Who Views branded mankinis? Because Paul and I want matching ones.
I'll just make a note of that. Utterly crazy idea. From Third Doctor. Right, okay, so that's all done there. Philip Shaw is saying he's booked. Fantastic. Richard Brooks says, has someone booked an extra room for makeup and costume, JT? Yeah, I have actually. Oh, yes. Bill
There's
Harry
a trailer in the car park. And when you
you'll see it there. Bill Harry is saying Blackpool is less than 3 hours away. It's doable. Bill, you've got to come and see us. Come on. Hartnell's Ghost, good to see you. I hope to be able to go to this. How much are you guys charging for autographs and pics? God love you. Absolutely nothing. You on our scrolls, of course we're not going to charge you. You are family. We are not going to be charging. We will leave that to whatever actors they get, but not for us. Hello, Adam. How are you? Can you get proper tickets or is it digital crap? It's done through Eventbrite Digital Pollution. So you book on that and you can print it off and you have to hand in your print off ticket. Does that excite you? So there you go. Snuggles is saying, if I can, I'll definitely be coming along to this. You can book it in now, love, and come and see us. I hope I can get tickets, says Steve Andrews. Of course you can. You absolutely can. Okay, Derek Hart is saying to us, I have to go. I need to speak to the organisers as being the Blackpool exhibition, Cyber Leader, Cyberman and Dalek. Whoa, there you go, mate. Fantastic. Yeah, I like this one as well. Alan's saying the same thing. Alan Hunting, how much will you guys be charging for a photo and an autograph? Cheaper than Gatware, and there will be full signatures or just initials. Well, we might charge 200 quid each and just do a cross.
Yeah.
No, honestly, we're gonna have some lovely stuff. So save up because we're gonna have some special merchandise there for you, and it will be limited edition to that event because it's a big one for us. Philip Shaw again saying, I can't wait to meet you guys. Well, we can't wait to meet you either. I'm really excited about meeting as many of you as possible and getting you on the show. It's going to be great. Sheila being the devotions is saying, fingers crossed, we get a lift at my local train station and I can get there. Yay! This is exciting, guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
People are coming. PTA is saying to us, it'll be great to see the show broadcast on location. It really will, PTA. I'm really excited about it. Matthew Pounder again saying there are lots of B&Bs over in Blackpool. There's loads of places. You can stay at the Grand, of course, for their offer, or you can go to B&Bs, or you can go to any of the other hotels. Blackpool is famous. You'll get somewhere to stay. It's going to be fantastic for you. Fantastic. Yes, Bill Lowry. Bill's just checked the price. I hope you're impressed. That's great, isn't it? Donkeys, JT says funky. I thought you said RTD wouldn't be there. How dare you insult donkeys? I love them. PB is saying to us, do they still have donkeys? I hope they have chastity belts these days.
Absolute filth, PB. Love it.
He's terrible, isn't he? Look, booked, ticket downloaded, says Julianne. My God, that was quick work, Julianne. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm so excited. Stephen Alreese is saying, sounds cool. And then 8 Channel saying, I'll be watching from Canada. Yes. Well, can you get on a plane?
I believe they have planes there. They have an airport.
I'm
sure they
Yeah.
Probably
Same
more
for
than
John
one.
Roberts. John Roberts says, I'm in USA, but we'll try and watch the live stream. Just come over. Come over and have a holiday. St. John is saying he's going to get a ticket as well. We can't wait to see you all. We are really excited about this. Carl Gibson is saying he's just got his tickets. See you all next year. Oh, this is.
I'll see you there, Carl, mate. He's the one who I was sat with for quite some time in Liverpool, and he is a fantastic guy. Is Carl? Good to see you, Carl.
Oh, Carl, how lovely. I can't wait to meet you then. We've got a whole year of this, by the way, everybody. So make sure you're subscribed and you stay with us because, it's going to be great. And a lot of you, hopefully, will get on the show. PB is saying, I can't wait to hit the bar. Typical Doctor Who convention attitudes there. It's going to be brilliant. And Richard Brooks saying to us, if only Nick Courtney was still at the bar. Oh, bless him. He is in spirit, if you pardon the pun.
Yeah.
He is. Stephen Alreese saying to us, Paul and Ian will have to have tangent smugglers printed on their Speedos or Mankinis.
I shouldn't have taken a drink then, should I? No.
No. Oh, God. Can you not pee, Stephen? I've got to sleep tonight, if you don't mind, please. And Mark Greaves is saying Lancaster just down the road. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. This is going to be the biggest event in the Northwest in 2027, Northwest of England. So, and again, I'm so excited, and I can't wait to actually physically meet you all. Here it is here for you. Yes, Whose Views will be live from Invasion Blackpool on Saturday, May the 15th, 2027. Your tickets are available right now. QR code there. Links are in the chat. I'm going to be doing a post about it as well here on the channel, and we'll put it into the comments for you. We would love to see you.
How do you follow that, though? That's the thing.
It's difficult, that, isn't it? Big call there.
Hard to top that, yeah.
Well, we're going to have a bit more fun, actually, Nathan, because one thing that we fans do, and what we will probably do when we're all in the bar together for Invasion Blackpool with all our friends from the channel, is we'll probably start making lists. Because Doctor Who fans like to do lists, don't we? We really do.
Yes. Yeah.
I tell you who else likes to make lists. It's the Radio Times. And I want to say thank you to Stephen, who's in the chat, who sent me this just this afternoon saying, JT, have you seen this? The Radio Times this week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, did this. Doctor Who's 30 best classic stories ranked from 1963 to 1989. Now, this is something that we did in the wilderness years when we only had 26. Do you remember, guys?
Yeah.
I'm not going to show you the graphics for everything, ladies and gentlemen, but I am going to read them out for you. Are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Strapped in, ready to go.
I am pleased. I was a bit worried there for a second who viewers was. But here we go. Before I start, because this has been done according to the Radio Times by superfans.
Oh.
Louise Griffin, Mark Braxton, and Patrick Mulkern. Who, of course, are Radio Times writers.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family, you know.
I thought I recognised Stewie Griffin's sister.
Anyway, they have judged these. They have selected these. This is the top 30 that they have selected. Now, I'm going to like this because none of you are going to agree with this because we never do when we do these lists. But there are some key episodes, I think, missing. But listen to this. At number 30, gentlemen, is The 10th Planet. At number 29 is Earthshock. 28, it's The Stones of Blood.
Okay.
27, you have Dalek Invasion of Earth. At 26, The Abominable Snowmen. 25 is Marco Polo.
Oh, come on.
Which none of us have seen. 24, The Time Meddler. 23, The Daleks' Master Plan. At 22 is The Ark in Space. At 21 is The Crusade. Straight in at number 20 was An Unearthly Child, which none of you are going to get to see ever again. You can still get the DVD from Amazon and HMV for about £4. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's in the beginning box set. It's very good. Number 19, Terror of the Autons. 18, Terror of the Zygons. 17, Doctor Who and the Silurians. Number 16, The Talons of Wang Chiang, the most controversial Doctor Who ever. My favorite. At number 15 is The Invasion. 14 is Evil of the Daleks. Number 13 is the original and superior version of the War Games. At number 12, The Sea Devil. That's probably thanks to Edom showing it over and over and over and over and over again.
Out of order as well, yeah.
Out of order, yeah.
Yeah.
And at number 11 is the original and superior version of The Daleks. Okay. Then let's get into the top 10. At number 10, we have The Web of Fear. At number 9, The Tomb of the Cybermen. At number 8, The Seeds of Doom. At number 7, The Demons. And at number 6, Genesis of the Daleks. So I hear you all say, what's the top 5, JT?
What's the top 5, JT?
Well, Paul, I'm glad you've asked me that.
Happy to oblige.
Thank you. At number 5, The Pyramids of Mars at number 4, The Spearhead from Space. The Aztecs at number 3, Inferno at 2. And The Robots of Death is at number 1. What? No Caves of Androzani?
Weird, yeah. Is that falling out of favour? Surely not. Yeah.
Have they not heard of that story? And did you notice as well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nothing from Colin Baker or Sylvester McCoy's time, which is a bit unfair, I think, really.
Yeah, because there's a couple of crackers amongst them, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Initial reactions, gentlemen, while I go to have a look at the chat.
Well, I'm a bit miffed about Marco Polo because that's in my top 10, even though it doesn't exist. And I still adore it. If it ever came back, I'm sure it'd be fantastic. But it's weird how people's tastes are so different. But some of them out of the top 10, I thought would be more into the actual top 10 itself, like Towns of Wen Chang, for instance, as an example.
I'm curious as to what their criteria for ranking these has been, because I would be amazed if, out of all the ones that are available, I would be amazed if they've watched them all.
Keep talking, I'll tell you.
But I don't know what criteria they would use to put Marco Polo where they did, to put Abominable Snowmen where they did. Did they say Web of Fear at all? Was Web of Fear in the list?
Web of Fear's in the top 10. It's number 10, I think.
In the top 10. Yeah. See, I can't remember already. I mean, 3 of the top 5 I have no problem with. The other 2, I love them, but I wouldn't put them top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, Talons of Weng Chiang is definitely top 10. I don't think. I don't remember if they mentioned it. Deadly Assassin. I don't know if they mentioned Deadly Assassin. You see, Deadly Assassin and Caves of Androzani. So if they're missing completely, then they've obviously been smoking something that perhaps they shouldn't have been.
I think Robots of Death is number 1. Robots is a great story, but for me personally, I wouldn't put it number 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't put it number 1 either. All they say here, Ian, is to celebrate our favourite time travelers' rich history, Radio Times' team of Doctor Who superfans have made the most difficult of choices, ranking the best ever stories from the classic era. It's just down to their point of views on that one. But it just reminded me of how it used to be in the old days where we did that, when we were in the bars and stuff like that. You'd say, right, let's do a list. Doctor Who fans love lists. Let's get into the chat and see what they're saying there. Andrew Parker wants to know about us going to Invasion Blackpool. Will there be strippers? Well,
depends how much alcohol we have.
We'll have to have a whip round for that one, Ian, I think. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, for me as well, show me enough dollar, and no problem at all, because I'm that fickle. But we'll have a word with Phil as well. Yeah. And then we'll all be done for John Barrowman type.
But you do the full Mon team, we could all do it. There you are. That's it.
Let's have a look at this. Canuck guy is saying that list is awful. Funky is saying no Talons, I bet. So you must be pleased because it's in there. It's in there, my friend. It is there. It's not my bag, baby, says Andrew Parker. John Mason is saying with Invasion Blackpool, I've just booked 2 tickets, but I don't know who I'm going to go with yet. You've got a whole year, John, to sort that out.
Yeah.
Yes. Get on those apps. Oh, no, don't actually. It's full of weirdos. Lex Kane. Lex is saying, have you got your ticket yet, Lex? Yes. Genesis of the Daleks, hopefully top of the list with Inferno. There you go. Both of them are in there, but not top. Not top. Not in the top 5. What else we got? Superfans, says Mark Greaves. That's the first trigger warning as it takes us back, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. It did used to do that, though. We didn't know it was a trigger warning at the time, but when you heard that back in the day, you'd go, oh, God, don't you? Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, they used to turn their nose at us, didn't they? Us ordinary fans.
Whenever
super fans.
Yeah.
Whenever you'd see the term superfan in the late 80s or 90s in the newspapers, it was generally followed by the name Ian Levine, wasn't it? And then it was
something like that. Yeah.
With a picture of him breaking a television with a
breaking
hammer.
a TV,
yeah.
Do you know I've got that newspaper clipping somewhere.
Have you?
Oh, that article was an interview, wasn't it? I've got that somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll have to try and find it when I can get upstairs. Andrew Parker was expecting Love and Monsters to be at number 1. Well, yeah, the list was for the original show, the Far Superior show. Legion of James is saying 16 for Talons. Poppycock, that should be much higher. Yeah, it should be.
I would put Time Meddler in my top 10 as well, because I love the Time Meddler. Really, that's a cracker, yeah.
I would have definitely have put Caves, I think, at number 1. I think I would have, because I really like the Caves of Androzani, and I've rediscovered it recently again, and we're just
Caves would be in my top 5. It'd be in my top 5 along with Spearhead, Demons, probably Robots, Pyramids, Deadly Assassin, and about 7 others, all in my top 5. That's why it's so difficult. You know?
Well, I do not find, guys, I find this, they keep moving around. It's hard to kind of
it is
pin them
really.
down a little
Yeah,
bit. But there's so many good ones, let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you were a kid as well, and you had the regular series, like we were lucky enough to have the old-fashioned thing where every year you had a series. You'd have a new favorite, wouldn't you? Really, and it was usually something from that series. You know, because remember when Legopolis came out on top?
Yeah.
And
I
remember
Earthshock was a cracker as well, and that season and things like that.
Earthshock from season 19 was everybody's favorite, wasn't it? And then my second one after Earthshock was Visitation. So it just changed. St. John saying Spearhead from Space would be my number 1. Richard Brooks wants to know, where is Time Lash? That we've got to get Time Lash into practically every show, don't we, ladies and gentlemen?
We do. Time Lash is about 98 or something up there somewhere. Yeah.
Although, as I've said,
that high.
I love it now. Listen, come on. As I've said before, I love it now. It's absolutely brilliant, just because of what we've been through. Just because.
Well, I can't wait till we review Time Flight. I know it's coming up soon.
It is. Stay tuned with us all, everybody. Curse of Fenric says Snuggles. Davey B is saying what? No Curse of Fenric. No 6th or 7th Doctor at all. It's a shame, really. Craig Dunlop is saying, I think they used a tombola to create this list.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, this takes me back, everybody. I'm so glad you're liking this bit. Snuggles is saying Inferno number 1 for me. Lex is saying to us, what for Genesis of the Daleks and what for Inferno?
Wasn't Inferno second? Didn't they put Inferno at number 2?
Let me just remind myself.
You see, again, I can't remember any of it now.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It's a good top 5 though. To be fair, and I'm glad Spearhead's in as well, because Spearhead's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It's all in good fun, and it just gets us talking, everybody, doesn't it? So thanks to Stephen again for highlighting this. Oh, here we go with the obligatory reference. As Woodhouse122 says, what? No dimensions in time.
It's not canon, so you can't really, can you?
No, well, kind of that's open to the jury's out on that one still. So here we are. Yeah.
Well,
jury's out on it.
The reference was in a Shooty-Gawa era, and all I can say to that is who?
Yeah.
I can count.
I would rather make this canon than any of the shooty stuff, let's be honest.
I share that view. I will concede that point.
We are gonna
That's a good compromise, Ian, I think, don't you think?
That's fair. Yeah.
We are going to have a really good, fun show when we come round to doing our review of Dimensions in Crap Time. That's going to be a really fun one. We've got this as well from John Roberts saying, hiya, Jack. Jack's with us there. John Roberts saying, Ghostlight would be on my list. Actually, John, I love Ghostlight because I understand it. I love it. So it probably would be on my list somewhere. It's a great story. Stephen O'Neill saying to us, to the chat and to the panel, if you had to take a Doctor Who story with you to a desert island, which one would it be? Oh, gosh.
Well, I was going to say, A City of Death's not on there, is it? On the top 30 at all? Was it? No.
And that was the template story for the 2005 reboot, wasn't it? That's the one that RTV said to everybody. That's Doctor Who. That's where we're going.
Creature from the Pit.
I watched that recently as well. Not saying why. Which one would you take to a desert island? Oh my god. Do you know I'm going to cop out and say I'd take the 5 Doctors and then I've got them all?
That's a good choice. I'd probably take Genesis of the Daleks. That's my comfort Doctor Who, having had it on record all those years ago, and then finally got to see the 6-parter again as an adult. You know, it's just an amazing story, and it's just so ingrained in my memory as a kid. It's just wonderful. You know, you
see, JT, you've just done what the BBC superfans did. JT, you've just ignored Colin and Sylvester there.
I know. That's not my fault they weren't in that show. They could have popped back.
No,
he did say like Ghostlight, though, to be fair. But
it's that's another good question, though, isn't it? That's the question we'd always say back in the day. If you had to take one episode, one story, what would you do? I could never answer that, and it would always
Desert Island Who.
It was weird as well. Funky would say, I'd take Delta and the Bannermen. Good for you. Mrs. Lisa Pertwee saying the 3 Doctors. Yeah. And Craig saying Tomb of the Cybermen. A lot of love coming in now for Horror of the Fang Rock in the chat.
Yeah, that's a cracker as well. Yeah,
it is a good story.
Tim Kins saying to us, "I take the rescue to a desert island, badum dish." See what you did there? That's great. Digital Pollution is saying you take the Daleks. It's difficult though. I mean, gosh. It's like when you go towards your DVD collection, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and you think, "Oh, I'll just watch a Doctor Who," and then you get to the DVD collection and you stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, everybody, don't you?
You go like that and you scan along them. Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, you select something like, I don't know,
The Five Doctors.
The Five Doctors. Yeah, but oh dear. Yeah, so there we go. Just another bit of fun bit there for you, everybody. Once again, I'm just going to put the QR code up for you. For us, we're going to be broadcasting live from Invasion Blackpool 2027 on Saturday, the May the 15th. Your tickets are available right now. Come and join us. Come and join us. We're going to have a great day. So please come and join us. It's going to be fun. I'm so excited. More news on that coming up, of course, throughout the year. Right, where are we going now? Oh, goodness me. It's been a bad week for Matt Britton in his first week as the BBC's brand new Director General, everybody. Are we surprised? No. The poor man has taken on one of the most broken organizations in the UK. And goodness me, he's got a lot to do if he's going to bring it back and also aim it at a brand new future, because they've just got rid of every plan that they ever had. Some of it can be good, some of it can be bad. But one of the things that is of real interest is this news from the Metro, our favorite woke paper: terrestrial television to be switched off. And we're finally getting a date for when it will happen. Have you heard about this, ladies and gentlemen? This has been on the table for some time. I've been watching it brewing. Let's have a look at this, of what they write in the Woke Show. The government could set out its plans in the coming weeks to switch off terrestrial television for good, with a national shift to streaming set to take place within a decade. Such a move would mean that television in the United Kingdom would become heavily reliant on access to the internet, as the airwave using Freeview service would be scrapped. While this would reflect the rapid change in viewing habits for most Brits who increasingly choose streaming over live TV, there are fears some could be left behind. Could. I think that's a would.
Yeah.
A green paper on the transition is expected to be published by the government in the next few weeks, according to the Telegraph. The newspaper said ministers would look for reassurances that streaming interfaces would be simple for everyone to use, and that providers would support those who are making the change. A full shift away from terrestrial television is penciled in for 2034 under current legislation. According to the House of Commons Library, 17% of UK households relied entirely on the digital terrestrial service to watch television in 2023, meaning they did not use satellite, cable, or streaming. Broadcasters, including the BBC, ITV, and Channel 4, back a transition, saying that it costs them a massive amount to maintain signals used by a declining number of people. So as I say, guys, this is something that's now coming to the fore, and Matt Britton, if he survives the next year, is going to have to be at the forefront of that, planning what the BBC is going to do. But again, it ties in with the fact that the BBC is paid for by a license fee for terrestrial television.
Yeah.
How are they going to adapt that, do you think, to streaming, a pure streaming service on the BBC?
Well, I'm sure it's probably just to do the wording of how it's paid for. They probably just have to tweak it slightly, and it'll be a streaming license for the BBC, probably. You know what I mean? And it's compulsory still to have it, probably. I have noticed, though, we're talking about YouTube having lots of channels on YouTube. I saw the other day there, interestingly, that when they do Doctor Who live and they show constant clips all the time at BBC's Doctor Who channel, I saw the other day there they had Wallace and Gromit live being played constantly on YouTube. So they're already going there. They're coming for us on YouTube, I think, already. So yeah.
I can't believe that, really.
If they're trying to get people to have a license to watch Netflix and everything else, then technically it's a license for streaming already, isn't it? If they can achieve that, and then it's just incorporating them as well. But it's the same as the telephones, isn't it? And the analog service and everything else. And pushing to switch that off, there's always going to be stragglers.
Yeah.
And it's usually no fault of their own. It's usually the elderly and that are left behind. The back end of all technological progress tends to affect the elderly and government departments, it seems.
Well, talking to about the back end technology, I'm with Virgin Media, and they're doing away. We still have a landline, you know, and
Right.
we get. So if you, they're now they're stopping the proper telephone lines going through the internet now. So you have to get a plug-in device for your landline in order to make it compatible. So they're doing that with us, you know. So
You know what? Call me old-fashioned.
you're
But I
old-fashioned.
live in a part. Thank you. I live in a part of Scotland which is rural.
Yeah,
And you can go further down into my region here, and there's no internet signal.
yeah.
So unless they get that sorted over the next 10 years, it's like the provider I'm with has said the same thing, Paul. I'm going to have get rid in October, November of my landline.
Yeah.
I can't get a mobile signal in parts of my house.
I'm the same. I go in the kitchen. I have to go to the garden to get a signal and stand on a step or something. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like Colin Baker and the Five-ish Doctors on that tractor he stands on with the phone.
That's right. But it's true. I mean, the signal's not too bad here because my the Wi-Fi box thing is over there. The router, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I can go over to the other side of my house and go to the bedroom, and I'll lose a signal.
Yeah. And you become all Norman Collier in the middle of a conversation, you know.
That sort of stuff. It's ridiculous.
I think for stuff like that, JT, you just have to rely on signal boosters, which you can get, and they pick up your router signal and boost it so you get a stronger signal for the rest of the house. But it often depends on what your house is made of. If it's an old house, sometimes they'll have old lead pipes in the wall. They act a little bit like a Faraday cage, and you can't get much of a signal. They don't help. I mean, I'm in a rural area, and you get up speeds and down speeds. Down speeds the speed that governs what you watch and everything else, and all the rest. And I was getting 4 meg up and 9 meg down, which was horrendous. When you work from home as well, you rely on it. And literally in the last few weeks, I've patronised Mr. Musk and gone for Starlink, and I'm getting 36 up and 187 down. Which isn't what you get from fibre.
That's like a crossword you're talking about.
I know.
There is no fibre here because we're in the middle of nowhere, and it's like everything else. You pay your council tax for everything, but you don't get all the services because that's the people in the town get all of those, and we don't get fibre or anything like that. We don't have gas, for example.
Sorry, I have this problem with this. I think everything is being made by people who live in London. All these decisions are being made by city dwellers. I mean, again, going to my region, we've got all these idiots banging on about natural stuff, okay, and energy and all this, but don't mind if you ban the oil. Hundreds of people in my region won't be able to live because they run on oil.
Yeah.
And it costs a bloody fortune for them now because oil increases monthly, and so they are powered by it. And I think it's another case of we're getting all our liberties, we're getting all our choices taken away. You will have this. It's like what they did with the banks. They closed down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of banks across the United Kingdom over the last 25 years, leaving rural communities without a bank. Oh, go on an app. Go on the app. A lot of people don't want to go on an app. Some people don't trust the thing. I've only just got used to, because I was in hospital, an app. Yeah. And I just think, why should we have to? I like going into a shop or a bank or somewhere and speaking to another human being. On this thing, you don't get anything. Let's get into the chat and see what the guys are saying. Andrew Parker is saying streaming is always poor quality picture-wise. That's a worry. Tony Farrell, hi Tony. They'll just try and extend the scope of the license fee to cover internet usage. Oh yes, that's a point, isn't it? They probably would, because as we talked about last week, they're dismissing everything. Advertising can't possibly do that. No, we can't possibly do that. Oh, we can't possibly do this one either. Oh, everything that makes common sense, the BBC have said no immediately. Domgo, whether the BBC is broadcast or streamed, it's still a turd and still stinks. Reviews, Rants and Religion saying switching off is a stupid and terrible idea. What is wrong with freedom of choice? Yeah, that's my point as well, mate. I totally agree. PB saying to us that the only reason terrestrial television is failing is because of the BBC and Channel 4 et al. Ruining legacy shows and producing crap. people would come back if stuff was good and not taxed. I agree.
Yeah.
I would go back to the BBC if they started producing quality again.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the BBC more in this section, of course, because we are talking about what Matt Britton's first week as the Director General. Funky's saying the live streams, Paul, on the Doctor Who channel don't have comments on. That's strange. Because people like me coming in all the time going, this is crap.
I'm surprised they're not being commented by bots. Remember that happened before. Remember?
You know, I can't stand that word. I didn't know what it was until recently, but apparently they use it now. These people, whenever somebody presents something that doesn't agree with their point of view, they'll say, "Oh, the bots are out." I had to go and look at what a bot is.
It's like Pac-Man, isn't it? It's kind of like coming along and it's eating and away, kind of thing like that. Yeah.
How insulting and intolerant of the far left, of course, as usual, to say, "Oh, you're a bot because I don't like what you're saying." Oh, just get back in your padded cells. Keravon is saying to us, "I think that the channels will remain, but instead of Freeview, it would be accessed by the internet and screaming the channels that way." Lex came for a super chat. Great show, Star Trek last night. Thanks, Lex. You were on it. That's why it's good.
Plus, you were very good.
Plus the fan channel who did VFX effects for Star Trek 5. Did you see the deleted rock monster in Star Trek 5? I haven't seen it yet. Actually, you've reminded me, Lex. I wanted to say, whoever written it, somebody emailed me and a lovely email about our Star Trek 5 review last night. Who was it? Oh, bugger, I've written it down somewhere and I can't find it. But thank you to whoever it was that mailed me to say, great Star Trek 5 review. I love it as well. I'm glad you were all really fair to it. It's not, it's fine. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Matthew Pounder said the poorest too. Problem being also saying good luck to the people who can't get Wi-Fi. Rick Storm is saying I've blocked all the BBC channels on YouTube. Quite wise too. Hello to Stephen Ginny Frith, who's joining us. Nice to see you. And Jason G. Good to see you. Switch off. What about our beloved elderly and how TV helps minimize some of the loneliness they endure? It seems yet another way of alienating many innocent people. That is a superb point. That's not going anywhere in human nature in the next 10, 20 years, is it?
No.
Yeah.
And that's what the BBC was there for. You know, BBC, old people, when I was a kid who were on themselves, were always watching things like the BBC.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So they're turning their back on the public again. Again, they're assuming, and it doesn't sit with me. Lady of the chat is saying to us, in my parents' house, nothing in the kitchen, mine only in the living room and bedroom. And Woodhouse 122, there are still some areas of the UK that only have poor quality internet, so I can't see the terrestrial being turned off anytime soon. They're talking about in the next 10 years, which I think is far too soon. I mean, I think instead of looking at all that, they should be looking at the BBC's funding practice within the next 10 years. This screams to me, we're keeping the license, you know? I don't know. Space Peninsula saying to us, if you put something watchable on terrestrial television, people will watch it. That should be the focus. Quality television. Totally agree.
Yep.
Totally agree. And it's true, though, isn't it? Richard Brooks saying to us, they are removing tried and tested infrastructure and imposing a cost on us all for internet connection, which can be stopped or removed. It's not a good thing. I don't see if they're going to do this, Richard, why would anybody would have to pay a BBC television license?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're paying for the internet anyway, and everything else is on there. You've got all your Netflixes, Amazon Prime, whatever else you've got. This is a big problem for Britain. Another big problem for Britain. We've got loads of them, to be quite honest. But this is another one because technology has changed in ways they never thought of 60, 70 years ago. Well,
the fact you can make your own programming like this, that is like, was never foreseen at all, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. And I keep saying, Paul, if I'd had this technology when I was studying aboard a television and doing my work experience aboard a television where we had control rooms and big bloody cameras and big equipment and great big buttons that I used to love and all this sort of stuff, my life would have been completely different.
Yeah.
Orem, they want to make remote locations unlivable to force us into 15-minute smart cities. They don't care about internet coverage for all, just like they don't care about roads maintenance. Yeah. Sometimes you get that feeling when you live in a place like I do. Sometimes you just think, no, they're forgetting about us, and they're going to sacrifice us. you know. And Millywig, nice to see you, Millywig said, it's a little schizo, but is this a plan to get everyone into the cities by having internet or phone black spots? I don't know, but I think it's frightening. I wouldn't live in a city again now. I did years and years in the city. I'd never do it again now. Too old for all that crap.
But you're quite right about what you said about the oil, JT. I have oil because I said before we've got no gas. I have oil, and it used to be £75 a month on average would just keep you. So you generally need a couple of fill-ups a year. And 2 months ago, that £75 a month went up to 220.
Yeah,
and it's obscene. And the government is offering support, of course, but the support is to the people who can't be asked to work. So, you know, when you work and everything, you're expected to pay for everything. It's not really an incentive to work, is it? Well, there we are.
We've got RPG Gamers Hub. Nice to see you. Welcome to Who's Views. We are going to become an anti-social society, only speaking on the internet, not actually hanging out in the personal future. You know, yeah. Who was it? I think it might be my auntie that said something very similar. And I see what you're saying. I really do. I think that's going to happen with the generations below us, all these youngsters.
Yeah.
You know, little Teddy that comes on every now and then and does a review for us. His generation, because they're being born into this. Each new generation will be born into technology. I can see that sort of, you know, getting to a sort of Blade Runner type thing, really. And I don't know. I think that frightens me at the age I'm at now. I think, you know, gosh, I think it's very worrying. But I do see what you're saying, RPG gamers. That's why it's going to be great to all hang out in Blackpool in May, everybody. Yes. And we can all cheer each other up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Avon01 is quite rightly saying that the BBC will always charge for anything live stream because they think they can. It's about time somebody turned around and said no to them. Cute Pyro, good to see you. I had a letter from the TV license threatening to take me to court for not paying the license. So I sent an email saying, go ahead, see you in court. If you don't watch live television, they can't. They can't do anything about it and never let them in. But they can't do anything about it. Marie UK saying, I had to help my mum buy a new phone today. It took half an hour. It takes hours with me, Marie UK. The website kept going ground in circles. Oh, right. Website. Yeah. I had to open an incognito page to stop it. She didn't even know what that was. Neither do I.
Neither do I. No.
Incognito. Yeah. You can. So you got loads of tabs open in your browser. And you can use the menu of the browser to open an incognito tab. So basically, if you log onto a website and it remembers you previously from that site, you open an incognito tab and it thinks you're an entirely new person completely and you've never visited that website before.
How do you all know this? How do you all know this? I've never heard of this in my life. How do you know all this?
I'm with you. I don't know anything.
People like myself and Marie, I think she's quite close to me, live. We're just extra knowledgeable up this neck of the woods.
Oh, brilliant.
It's not grim up north anymore, then. That's good to know.
No. Well, they found electricity in the late 90s, didn't they? They're all right. The BBC license, Cute Pryor giving us an update, responded giving a court date. I attended and the court dismissed the case because I proved I do not watch any BBC-owned content and such did not need a license.
Good for you.
Yeah, well done. Yeah.
Well done. It's not often, you know, we hear, well done you. Because if you can prove it, how dare the BBC think they can take anybody to court? Scrap the license fee, scrap the BBC. Let's get something fresh in the country. And Mark Greaves, thank you for your super chat. So let's get this right. In the next few years, no terrestrial television, no petrol or diesel cars, no gas or oil, and everything net zero. It will be a disaster. I totally agree.
Yes. With robotic electric cars, that as well.
No food either, because they'll be putting solar panels on all the arable land thanks to that brainless microbe Miliband.
Oh, I can't stand him with all this guff. No. I mean, get real for heaven's sake. I mean, you know, I can't see at the moment where I was brought up in a Britain where we did all our own stuff. We built our own televisions, our own cars. We had our own oil. We had our own gas. We had coal. And then Thatcher came in and changed everything, and it's been built on since then. And now we're in a point our beautiful country is held to ransom by every other bloody country around us. We've even got Norway in our ocean off Scotland drilling our own bloody oil.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Get out there. Never mind the bloody SMP, the idiots. Get out there and start drilling. We need to have sustainable energy. And quite frankly, right now, the environmental concern, they can deal with that. They can deal with it. It's not the 70s.
Well, the government's banned it, haven't they? They've banned the licenses, so they won't let them go out and drill.
Yeah.
So exactly. It's just ridiculous. So we'll buy it from Norway, who drills it from their side of the same oil well, and we'll buy it from them. We're buying it from Russia now, aren't we? Apparently,
yeah, we buy it back. And there's the Norwegians going.
Yeah,
and they're
200 million last year. I think it was 200 million pounds last year.
Yeah, everybody is laughing at Britain right now, except us, because we're crying. Kev Taylor has joined us. Good to see you. Philip Shaw, who's actually got a picture of him there, guys, on his thumbnail of him at the last Invasion Blackpool in 2023. He's the doctor.
Nice.
Yeah.
With that fabulous gentleman who was Davros there. He had the voice down. I actually went, ooh. Ooh, go away. I work for the NHS, says Philip, and the elderly who can't handle technology changes. I know. And it's not going to change because there's still enough of us who will be elderly in 10 years' time that, like me, for example, I can't be bothered. I don't want to know about. I hate touch screens because they don't register my fingers because I haven't got any fingerprints from an accident from when I was a kid. I can't use touch screens because it doesn't register my fingers. And if we're all going that way into a Star Trek future, I'm going to be one of these people being left behind.
No fingerprints. You'd be like a digital ghost.
Yeah.
Certainly like me.
Do you not use one of those pointery things you can use on your Kindle or whatever and use one of them?
Can't use it. It takes ages. Right. Even on my phone when I'm trying to do things. The phone can be ringing and I'm like, you know what I mean? And then if I use my little finger, eventually it might work. I get so frustrated. Honest to God.
But like Paul says, can you use a stylus? I mean, they do them now. My phone, I never use it, but my phone comes with one.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either. I don't know things, viewers. Just call me thick. PT Music is the ticket board for Invasion Blackpool 2027. I just need to try and get someone to go with me. I'll see you there. Oh, I'm so excited. We're going to have a great time, everybody, at Invasion Blackpool 2027.
I'm hoping that people buying tickets have now broken the internet with enthusiasm. Fingers crossed. There we are. Lovely, yeah.
It's just going to be so exciting to see everybody, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a really good time. Hopefully some of you will get on the show. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be fun. We've got plans. Anyway, I was talking about Matt Britton. Lots has happened for Matt Britton in his first week as a Director General. BBC staff strike as the new Director General warns of tough choices on his first
doing well.
day. Here he is here, by the way. That's Matt Britton. We have talked about him before. The BBC's new Director General has warned staff that tough choices are unavoidable under his tenure, as his first day coincided with a strike by a group of the corporation's alleged journalists. Britton, formerly Google's most senior executive in Europe, arrived at the corporation's new broadcasting house while a group of journalists from the World Service's NewsHour and the Radio 4's The World Tonight were picketing in response to a plan to increase their workloads. This is hilarious stuff. The action, which relates to a dispute over shift patterns that has been rumbling on for months, is one of a series of planned strikes by the staff. They say morale is in the red. It's being seen by some insiders as a sign of the obstacles Britain will face as he attempts to implement sweeping cuts right across the corporation that aim to save hundreds of millions. Britain, who will address staff on Tuesday, which he did, has been spending the last few weeks visiting various parts of the BBC, and insiders say he has shown particular interest in the cost of production as he begins the task of finding budget cuts of 10%. You see where I'm going with the implications here, gentlemen?
Yeah.
In a message to staff, Britton, who replaces Tim Davies, said his visits had underlined just what an extraordinary, priceless asset the BBC is for all of us. However, he also suggested it would push for the BBC to make some dramatic changes in how it delivers its programming as digital platforms such as YouTube and TikTok become more prominent. The BBC has proved throughout its history how quickly it can reinvent itself to serve the needs of audiences, from restructuring for World War II to repurposing during COVID, to spinning up services in conflict zones, he said. We need collectively to call on that sense of urgency now. That means moving with velocity and clarity. Excellence at the BBC has always been founded on great creative storytelling and brilliant independent journalism. Today, it also means making sure we get the right stories in the right formats on the right platforms. He added, I know change will not be easy. Tough choices are unavoidable as we make savings. We should ask ourselves honestly, if we were inventing the BBC today, what would we do? Then respond with clarity, pace, and purpose. The strike by NewsHour and the World Tonight journalists predates the plan for cuts and affects more than 30 workers. Staff from NewsHour say they were presented with plans to add 26 extra slightly shortened shifts to their workloads. Well, enough for them. But yeah, so this isn't going to be easy for him. He's obviously got some ideas, but it's interesting. We've got to remember BBC One is the home of Doctor Who, traditionally and to this very day. Doctor Who has been farmed out to BBC Studios, the independent arm of the BBC. It's the profit-making part of the BBC. It's not funded by the taxpayer. But Doctor Who, even under that with BBC Studios, BBC One has contributed some money into it. I don't think it's going to happen anymore, personally. What do you reckon?
Well, the BBC themselves will fund Doctor Who. It'll just be done by BBC Studios and whoever they work with in general.
Yeah. I think one of the things you need to do, Mr. Britton, if I might say so, because I know you're watching, I would say to you, scrap all the reality shit. Oh, crap. Sorry. Get rid of all that. Sorry, Mother, because she won't be happy. But look, get rid of all that.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. Get rid of all the reality nonsense and start producing stuff that people will want to watch. Stop going down what I would have called the commercial station news, the cheap, tacky telly. You've got to have quality. And see, these journalists that are on strike, we haven't missed them.
Did you see that on the news? There was this journalist on the presidential plane, and he asked a question, and Donald Trump just tore him off a strip. It was very funny.
Yeah, I saw that.
The BBC, the blah blah blah, all that stuff. It was very, very funny.
That's the last thing you need as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the president of the United States of America changes every 4 years, but you do not need to upset any of them.
Yeah.
And if you remain neutral, you're not going to upset them. And if you report the facts like the BBC used to do, without the emotional bigotry from some people, you're on the right sense there, aren't you? You know, you're on the right course. The other thing, of course, that the problem with the BBC has is something we've talked about many, many times, including last week's show, is the whole DEI issue, which is a problem for the BBC. As we all know as Doctor Who fans, it's in everything. There's a drag queen on everything, you know. And as we talked about last week, Stonewall got to the BBC with the whole TQ cult agenda. This story has come from The Telegraph. BBC Director General under pressure to free the corporation from trans capture. We spoke about this a little bit last week, but this has come about. The new BBC Director General has been urged to weed out the trans activists after the corporation defended asking a biological male about experiencing misogyny. Now, let me just put this into play for you. They had on Woman's programme here in the UK, a transgender woman who is a biological man, and he was asked about misogyny. Yeah, exactly. That's where the BBC is. Matt Britton, who started his job on Monday, faces a major challenge to rid the corporation of bias after it was captured by trans ideologies. Senior managers who allowed the BBC to become a mouthpiece for trans radicals are still in place, and the organisation has not fully taken on board last year's Supreme Court ruling that sex is determined by biology, critics say. Last year, The Telegraph reported that an LGBT desk within BBC News was vetoing gender-critical stories, and despite promises to tackle the issue, there are still complaints of pro-trans bias. Just 3 days before Mr. Britton took the reins, the BBC dismissed dozens of complaints about the Radio 4 Woman's Hour programme in which a biological male who, in his 60s, had started identifying as a woman, and he was asked about having experienced misogyny. Raymond Connell, a gender relations expert and professor emerita at the University of Sydney, we are a great place to start there over in Australia, was invited onto the program to discuss the Louis Theroux documentary Inside the Manosphere, and was asked by presenter Nola McGovern about your experiences of misogyny. Viewers complained that Professor Connell does not experience misogyny as he is a man, and demanded to know why you chose a man to talk about this female-only problem. In a response published last week, the broadcaster's executive complaints unit insisted the decision was justified and that the BBC editorial guidelines do not support excluding contributors on the basis of their sex or gender identity and all this usual blah, blah nonsense. Fiona McKenna, who's the director of campaigns for the sex-based charity rights charity Sex Matters, wonderful charity, check them out, said that the BBC had been immersed in trans ideology for so long that even now, after the damaging scandal of the BBC bias dossier and the clarity of the Supreme Court ruling, it still indulges trans activist demands at the expense of female employees and of accurate reporting. Woman's Hour was deluged with complaints when it asked a man who declared his inner womanhood in his 60s about his experience of misogyny. Accurate and impartial reporting does not shy away from truths, like the established fact that there are only two sexes and no one can change sex. The good work of many BBC journalists is being undermined by misleading output from other teams. If the BBC is to win back credibility and public trust, then Matt Britton needs to weed out the trans activists and reassure staff that genuine impartiality will be rewarded and not punished. On Thursday, the Equality and Human Rights Commission published its updated code of practice. I can't believe this was needed, which reinforced the Supreme Court's ruling that trans women are not women under the Equality Act and must not be allowed in women-only spaces. MPs and women's rights campaigners said there were no more excuses for the BBC to sit on the fence and urged the corporation to implement the EHRC's guidance without dither or delay. As well as facing demands to change its editorial culture, on a practical level, the BBC, in common with other organisations, must prevent biological males from accessing women's toilets and changing rooms, something which the whistleblowers say is still happening. The BBC said, get this, it was reviewing the guidance from the EHRC, but campaigners said there was no excuse for not making the changes immediately. Nigel Huddleston, the Shadow Culture Secretary, for those of you outside the UK, that's a Conservative Party, said that now the guidance has been approved, the BBC must implement it without dither and delay. Things are looking bad for the BBC every single day.
Yeah.
And in turn, that will affect Doctor Who.
Mm.
This explains why that crap, the Star Beast and everything else that RTD pushed out wasn't just his agenda, but it was signed off by people in the BBC going, oh, isn't this marvellous?
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we got a female Doctor Who.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
it was fully aligned to what they wanted to be.
But it's like we live in a lunatic asylum, isn't it? I mean, the BBC is run by lunatics. Honestly, it's just crazy, absolutely crazy.
It's insane. And you know what? I've found, because I've had people tell me, the good journalists of the BBC, or the journalists who are at the BBC who are on their way into a career, you know, the young ones, they leave the BBC. They go elsewhere because there's more places for them to go. Some of them have even set up their own channels on YouTube now. And you can see them because they either didn't like the BBC or they didn't get into the BBC because they're not diverse enough.
Yeah.
I think it's shocking.
They're only going to get jobs or the hint of a career if they take the knee to the BBC's ideology. So they might as well leave. They're only going to harm themselves otherwise.
But the thing about the whole thing is the BBC is meant to be impartial. That's the whole thing, isn't it? And if you've been pressurized by frantic pressure groups, then it's like you shouldn't be doing that. You should be having a wider opinion, a wider canvas of opinion, rather than being driven by this agenda. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, this is down to Stonewall as well. I have read this week that Stonewall, which used to be an LGB charity and did some amazing work. I even worked as a volunteer with some of their projects around the places I was living. You know, they went into workplaces through the 90s and into the turn of the century, and basically they went in and said, listen, same-sex attracted men and women are just the same as everybody else, and they did great work back then. But then the TQ thing comes along, and to keep themselves going, they take all that and then they twist everything they've done before. But because they've got the ear in places like the BBC, they started to advise the HR departments, which a lobby group shouldn't necessarily be doing, actually.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and I find that, I mean, yes, the BBC eventually did say to Stonewall bye-bye because you had to pay into it. They were paying into this, you know, to have their staff indoctrinated. But it's like what I've said all the time. These TQ cult activists get everywhere.
They do seem to have a... I was going to say they do seem to have a backdoor access, but that could get taken terribly wrong. But they do seem to have a privileged access to these large organisations, and you just can't see the logic of allowing it. But they're there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just look at all this because I'm very interested in what's going on with the BBC and where it's going, because I just think I look at it thinking, well, where's Doctor Who in the future of the BBC? You know?
I think probably this idea of going to BBC Studios and having a partnership is the best way for it to survive in any shape or form happens to the BBC. So going out independently effectively is a good way to survive. It's just who takes it on to redevelop it is my worry, because if it's still got the influences of the BBC as it is now, then it'll just be the same old crap again and again and again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to change, and it's got to change quickly, and it's got to change big time. And why they think they should be pushing agendas, I don't know. Again, I'm going to say it. They've forgotten what entertainment is.
Yeah.
Completely.
And they are very snobbish, as we know, because we've spoken to an ex-BBC employee, and she was saying, wasn't she, they look down on the British public. Well, this comes out completely. Can you imagine what the meltdowns would have been like in the BBC this week after the HRC guidance was made clear as crystal?
Yeah.
You know, and why? I'm going to say, why did we need that? It's bloody common sense.
Yeah.
Shocking. PT Muzak is making a point here. I sometimes think this. We are living in an alternate universe. These sort of things shouldn't happen. It's like we are in a sci-fi movie. I totally agree.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Sliders. We've slipped into another dimension. That's it, yeah.
We have. We absolutely have.
Yeah.
And it's bloody scary. It's bloody scary. Anyway, we're going to be keeping an eye on the BBC here on Headlines. Of course we are, because it's a good talking point for us. But we've got to remember the BBC is the home of Doctor Who. And whatever happens to the BBC will, in some way, affect our beautiful show that we love and care for in some way. Speaking about that, this week, of course, is the last week of May, and we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Eighth Doctor. We've got our last few shows coming up for you this week. Tomorrow, we're going to be back live at 8 o'clock UK time with our review of Night of the Doctor. On Wednesday, live at 8 o'clock, we're going to be having a birthday party because we're going to be celebrating the actual anniversary here in the UK of the broadcast of the TV movie. And on Saturday...
Paul McGann's on that one. I'm just going to say that now, yeah.
And look at that. On Saturday, as he's looking at there, show us again.
Hold it closer to the screen, Ian.
On Saturday, we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at the new 4K edition of the Blu-ray. We're going to be looking at the packaging. We're going to be looking at what's on the disc. We're going to be talking about the quality of it. We're going to be looking at the whole thing. So Ian's very lucky. He got his yesterday. Some of you might have yours already. Phil and I are not happy because it's not on its way at all. We've had no notification for it yet at all.
I got a notification saying it's coming on bloody Tuesday. I was so disappointed. There's the bank
You normally
holiday.
get stuff way before me. This is fantastic. Do you want me to review it now?
No, we don't.
Lick test.
Take it for a good meal and then take it to a club, and you can bring it back.
Yeah, when you're finished with it. Where did you get it from? Which
HMV.
Oh, really? That's where I got mine from. And the bugger said it's coming on Tuesday.
Well, when it was first advertised, I wasn't quick enough. And the Amazon ones, Amazon sold out, and then they got another batch.
Yeah.
So it was after they'd sold out, and you, Paul, said HMV, and you'd done that. So I thought, all right, I'll do that, and clearly got prioritized. Sorry, mate.
Really? Yeah. You're not sorry, I can tell.
What's this from PB? I got us ordered before many people, and we still don't get ours first. It's true, problem being, isn't it? Yeah, we were there within the first 5 minutes, pressing that buy button.
Rank as its
I never had Amazon Prime for a long time, thinking it was a great way to get stuff early, and it wasn't. When I didn't do Amazon Prime, it came on the Saturday before the Monday of the release. Now it comes after that, which is really annoying. You know,
It's bizarre, isn't it? It is bizarre. Well, anyway, we've got all those shows coming up for you here at the end of May on Whose Views, of course, and then we're into June. Ooh. That's all coming up for you in June. That's all I'm saying about that right now. But my God, we're busy in June. So make sure you've subscribed if you're new to the channel. Make sure you are still subscribed if you are not new to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Don't forget, I'm going to say it again because I am so excited. Tickets are now available to Invasion Blackpool 2027, which will be held at the Grand Hotel in Blackpool on Saturday, May the 15th, 2027. And we're going to be there broadcasting live from the convention. Come and join us. This will be the nearest you get to a Whose Views convention ever. Come and join us. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see you all there. You can get more information, not just from us as it drops every now and then, but you will be able to get more information from Invasion Blackpool on Facebook. And watch out for, you get all the links there for the hotel details and for the Eventbrite page and all that. But watch out for all that. Really excited, Third Doctor Ian, Paul. What a good show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it very much.
We do have a couple of super chats, JT.
Please go ahead then. Yeah, because I haven't been getting them coming on the screen, I'm afraid.
It has been playing silly beggars, hasn't it? We have a super chat from Lex earlier on, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Lex. My Morrison's supermarket has a cleaning robot. It didn't like going over to the food selection. It was like a Dalek. Very scary.
Really? See, that's taken somebody's job. I don't know if I like that idea.
I've seen one in a hospital, and it was a great big thing, more like a cleaning robot from Paradise Towers.
Oh no!
And it had somebody walking along behind it, so it was cleaning, and they were walking along behind it, doing nothing apart from just walking along behind it. And it's like,
well, not even pushing the thing.
Get rid of the robot and just give him a brush, you know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
But never mind. And Mark Greaves,
Mark. Thank you, Mark.
No fingerprints, JT. It's Whose Views, Tom Cruise. Yeah, secret agent there. And Marie UK. Marie UK. I'm with you, JT. I hate touch screens. I've always got carpal tunnel. Very painful. And bring back the old rotary phones. Oh, do you remember them?
Yes.
Well, I do, because I've got one in the loft, haven't I?
Of course you have. Yeah.
People phone up occasionally when we're looking at stories, don't they? Please.
And I'm just checking. I think that is it. That is it. Yeah.
That's all. Oh, listen, thank you so much for your super chats. I am so sorry it hasn't come up on my list here, for which I blame, and I will be sending an email to StreamYard saying I'm not very happy. But listen, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us as ever. It has been your big show here on Whose Views tonight, Sunday, the 24th of May, 2026. This time next year, it'll all be over when it comes to Invasion Blackpool 2027. Let's think about that.
Wow.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we've got a lot to look forward to over the next year. I cannot wait to meet as many of you as possible at the Grand Hotel in Blackpool. We're going to have a great time. I can assure you, we're going to have a great time. From Third Doctor Ian, from Paul and myself, thank you for joining us. We're back tomorrow live here on the channel for our review of Night of the Doctor. So go and have a look at that. We'll see you tomorrow. From Paul and myself, ta-ra, everyone. See you later.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.